Are you tired of being so confused? You feel like you're more fucked up than the lies on the evening news. Well, just step right in. We can talk about it all as friends. And if you want, we can hug and kiss and make up for the party ends. Agree or disagree, stop arguing me. 'Cause I'm everything you want, damn sure what you need. I won't tell no lies, back up all the facts with truth. And if you can't get down with that, you must be somebody's dude.
Hey guys, Barry Morganstein, America's headshot photographer, coming to you from my New York City studio. Great friend of the Dumb Show. It is now time to put down the camera because it's almost 7 p.m. and I'm gonna watch the coolest, the most real and raw show on the internet.
Hey Barry, if you're watching, we still notice that you have the lens cap on your camera after doing a photo shoot. I just wanted to let you know, folks. I mean, I don't mean to be rude. Here it is, and it's right there. There's a lens on the lens has a cap on it. He doesn't want me to show you this. Watch. Here it is.
Down the camera because it's almost 7 p.m. and I'm gonna watch the coolest.
It's all right.
Real and raw show on the internet. It's on every night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Love you, Barry.
Those guys, Matt, Olivia, Leroy, and Amy. You guys have to tune in to see it. It's going to be something incredible every night.
Scott, we got to introduce you to get your headshots through Barry. He is good, man. He's done everybody.
I'd like that. It's nice to have a few in the...
Yeah. Have a few extras in the kitty.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
It's Red Friday. RED Friday, which stands for Remember Everyone Deployed. A movement designed to honor veterans and deployed U.S. troops by wearing a red shirt every Friday. As simple as that may be, Red Friday is a great way to back those who serve our country. Go to dumbshow.com and search for Red Friday to get your red on.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.
Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me Show. Matthew Spear, Olivia Spear in the house.
Yo.
Along with our good friend.
Happy Friday.
Yeah, happy Friday. Red Friday. Everybody get their red on. I'm wearing pink today. I felt I would grab my inner self and wear my pink. It's close enough. It's Breast Cancer Veteran Awareness Day.
There you go.
Yes. Scott Lloyd is in the house. Mr. Lloyd will introduce you in just a second. You wave to everybody. So exciting to have you here. I'm a big fan. I feel like I've known Scott for a long time, just because I've been doing this job for a while, and I know who he actually is. He's incognito tonight as just some small-town Virginian politician, but no. There's so much more. We'll talk about it. Brian Cook was here last night. That was a great show. That was that was fun. Mm-hmm. Good to see him. He's a great guy. Jessica Lynch, POW, 2003, huge national attention. The story that was told to millions of people is not right. She's going to tell us the right one. And I am excited to hear it because she is like, you know, usually when you get these stories as a veteran, everything's like heroic and you're Sergeant Rock. And she's like, no, it's not what happened. And I wasn't like that. And she actually downgrades and puts herself in a in a position of saying, you know what, the story was exaggerated. I want to get the record straight. I love that, and I'm excited to hear it. Damani Felder is going to be here every Friday, but April 3rd he will be here
Every first Friday of the month.
Yeah, long fan of the show, and we love him too. Older Millennial will be here as well. We're not going to be
more.
and a whole bunch more. We're booked until when? How long are we
May.
booked? Oh my gosh!
We actually only have one more week in April available, and we only have 2 weeks in May available. Because there's 1 week in May where we got 2 choir concerts and a 16th birthday, so we can't do anything that week.
Benjamin Netanyahu, we're looking for a 7,000 schmeckles. We're
Yes,
ready.
we are.
You can book anytime you want. I have a little introduction for Scott, number one, and just kind of tell you guys what the situation was and remember what kicked this all off. So I got to enter this and give you the rundown. But before that, thedumbshow.com/donate. We never profit off of guests, but if we hold off on donations, we'll have like 42 minutes to do it. And then everyone flips out. So I had a lot of donors call me last night and say, can we say it's okay? Yes, it's okay. You can donate now. We're going to hold it. And then when Scott leaves, we'll count all of our money together and wring our hands.
That's good.
Here's the situation. So Scott Lloyd is joining us tonight, obviously. Can't believe I got to put on glasses, but the black and pink that it plays at the center of a fight that goes far beyond one county in Virginia. What happened in Warren County is being described by insiders and whistleblowers as a coordinated takeover of a Republican committee in a county that overwhelmingly supports conservative candidates. And when we say whistleblowers, these people, hello, all my front royal people who keep calling me. I really am excited because did this video and then they've been calling, and it's actually quite refreshing to know that some locals are listening.
Thank you, Bruce, for subscribing.
Thank you, Bruce. Scott is not a casual observer. He is a front royal attorney, former town councilman, and was serving as secretary of Warren County Republican Committee while running for chairman. Also worked at HHS under the Donald Trump administration in 2017 and 18. You may remember him because I said I wasn't going to mention him, but I'm going to do it anyway, for his amazing stance on abortion and being a pro-life advocate. And God bless you, sir. It takes a lot of courage.
Thank you.
And I'm proud of what you did. His background includes working on Capitol Hill, leadership roles in federal government under 2 Republican administrations, and years of involvement in conservative policy and grassroots organizing. What brings him here is what unfolded during February 12th mass meeting. Here is the video, if y'all remember, to give you just a little bit of a flashback on what we covered previously, which is kind of kicking all this off.
You want to know why people don't trust politics anymore? Because sometimes the circus isn't in Washington, D.C. Sometimes it's in a county meeting room in Front Royal, Virginia. Warren County is deep red. Trump won it by nearly 70%. And a place like that, whoever controls the local Republican committee controls the political future of the county. So the committee holds its mass meeting to reset membership and elect a chairman. Republicans show up, sign the pledge, vote, and go home. That's how it's supposed to work. Except witnesses say it looked more like a Black Friday at Walmart. Ballots allegedly handed to Democrats while actual Republicans were stuck outside the door. People with signed pledge forms standing in the hallway being told the room was full. Yet somehow others still got ballots. When it was over, attorney David Sielek beat Scott Lloyd by 19 votes. 19 votes in a meeting where nearly 500 people showed up, and many never even got inside to vote. Then the committee announced it was restructuring. Membership dropped from a possible 251 people down to 102 overnight, just like that. More than 100 conservatives who had been part of the committee were now gone. And according to the witnesses, the sheriff was standing at the door, controlling who got into the room the entire time. The people pushed out called it exactly what it looked like, a coup inside the local GOP, in one of the reddest counties in Virginia, mind you. Turns out you don't always need Democrats to create political chaos. Sometimes Republicans handle that all by themselves, being the RINOs that they are. God bless Virginia. We are as blue as that sky above me.
Drop it hard.
All right, so Scott, what did we get wrong? The video has been out there in the ether for a while. It's been seen 275,000 times. It's great to have you here. Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me show. So first, I'll say that and allow you to.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I'm glad to be here. Thank you. And that was a real I don't know, like breath of fresh air to see that somebody outside of our county was taking what was going on seriously, and it was a real boost to the people who were kind of out there, and it's like, what just happened in that meeting?
Yeah.
And see, as somebody else can look in from the outside and say, well, something doesn't look right here, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, it is. And do me a favor, can you help Scott with his mic? I forgot to bring it up. We gotta have that thing like almost on your lips, unfortunately.
Is this better?
Oh, that's romantic. Gosh, it's fantastic. The ambiance, I got to turn it down. It was so good. Could you just say it a little slower? No,
slower.
You're gonna get along just fine.
Oh yeah, he's gonna be perfect here. He already fits. We were talking about opening up the shirts because
the chest hair. Yes.
The problem is that, you know, I have not since my executive days, and I've been, you know, so I got to be a Guido. So I don't have a gold chain though. Appreciate that. It means the world because we care about Virginia. We care about our politics here. So walk me through the event in kind of your eyes, and what made you want this position? How did the voting go? And I also want to thank Breitbart, who has been an amazing partner, and Matt Pretty has been awesome helping us with photographs and stories and videos. And we've got a recent article it's going to drop any minute, and he's allowed us access to use some of those videos today. So we want to thank Breitbart News for helping us out here. But walk me through the ambiance, give me the smells, the taste, what happened, and what we're missing here.
Sure. I've been inactive in politics and locally since 2020. I joined the Republican committee. I ran for town council. I was on council for a little over a year. I stepped back to pursue some business interests, and I didn't want there to be an appearance like we were trying to help our business interests and everything. So I stepped back, and then I got very busy with my practice, and so I wasn't attending Warren County Republican Committee meetings so much, but I had some confidence knowing the people who were there that things were in good hands, and maybe I could afford to just tend to my own things and allow the people who were there to run things. And then what I found was that suddenly people we were endorsing and supporting were voting for tax increases and proposing more spending. And that was something that really opened my eyes. And I said to myself, wow, like this isn't what we do as a party. And we're supposed to be keeping government small. We're not supposed to be raising taxes on people in the midst of an affordability crisis. The last tax increase happened right at the beginning of the Trump administration. And so like, what are we doing here? And is this spending really spending that we need to have? And so I got involved to hopefully be a voice for conservative values again. It's like, guys, we can't be proposing these out of control budgets, and we can't be just, I don't know, giving in or saying yes to every request that we have from our administration in the town and county government. You have to push back. That's what we're getting elected for as Republicans. And sometimes being a conservative means that you have to say no to people. And that's probably the difficult part that a lot of people who get elected aren't ready to confront. That moment where somebody who's nice, does a good job on the day-to-day is saying, hey, we need an increased budget. It's like, well, that's where being a conservative really hits the road. And so I wanted to get involved and sort of start remaking that case to our fellow Republicans. But I also didn't want to walk into the scene and just assume that I knew everything that was going on and start lecturing people. So I thought to myself, how can I get involved and also be sort of a listener and not try to walk in like I own the place. Sure. So I got a
did you get that reception, or was there pushback of, wow, this guy's been in Washington D.C., he's a big name? Did you feel that you were received correctly, or that there might have been some hesitation and trepidation a little bit?
No, I think because I had been involved in 2020, somehow the involvement in DC, I think that I expressed that as part of just my background and maybe some of my conservative credentials, but somehow my life in Front Royal, Warren County, has remained separate from anything that went on in DC, and it doesn't really enter into the conversation a whole lot. So by the time I returned to being active in the committee in 2024, I was pretty much a known entity. I was on good terms with a lot of the people who were active in the committee, and so I just took the secretary position. I knew that the previous chairman, Tom McFadden, he wanted to step up, and I said, okay, well, that sounds good. Where do you need help? Secretary is a great spot for me to land. I would say that I would never run for secretary. I think I need a secretary more than I can be a secretary. But I'm like, all right, well, we need a body here. I can do the minutes. I can do the communications to the limited extent that they were asking me to do that. So I stepped in and just watched, and it was kind of a interesting year. My year as a secretary, there were a number of sort of controversies over this and that issue, over data centers. There was a primary race where, we had Republicans running against Republicans, and it got kind of ugly in a certain sense. And so with my plan to step into the chairmanship, I said, well, I don't feel myself to be a part of either faction or any faction. I think that I can be on good terms with people who don't trust each other right now. And so I was hoping to step in and sort of be somebody who could say, hey, we're all working together to defeat Democrats.
Right.
in our elections. And then
But is it like that in Front Royal? I mean, the things that I've heard is that there's a lot of dissension. There's two different Republican parties. Is you kind of have the old guard and more of the new guard, and then this other element where there's maybe the younger element who might not be as trusting of President Trump and MAGA and all of this. Are you seeing those fractures at Front Royal from the granular level that we're seeing nationally, or do you think it's just kind of two? It's the old and the new.
No, I think that this became dramatically pronounced, or at least for me, in this mass meeting that happened in February.
Okay.
Where it just seems like, okay, so there are some people who are supposed to be in one camp and some people who are in the other camp, and there are people telling me that this person's in that camp and people telling me that this person's in that camp, and I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna make my own judgment on that sort of thing. And I happen to have a good working relationship with this person. They were helpful they're helpful to me in my campaign for town council or whatever else, or I've talked to business with this person, et cetera, et cetera. And so I walked in and it's like, well, maybe we can erase some of this line or this divide that's come up in the party. And
Sure.
then the mass meeting sort of happened the way that it happened. It's like, wow, there's a lot going on. There really is a divide, and it's one that I think I was a little bit naive to, and one of the things that bothers me is that people are sort of trying to put me into a box that might not fit exactly what I'm trying to do.
Sure.
And I want to have the chance to speak for myself and not have people sort of label me.
Did you have a chance to, that night there's a video of this that I figured we would want to watch, and then we can go over the appeal and the challenge. But this is the evening of the actual vote itself.
Yeah.
And you're here. We'll see you in the back. Was this your first chance to speak to everybody, or had you had previous meetings and previous assemblies where you could kind of pitch, who you were and what your vision was? Or was this it? Was this a one trick thing? Or
yeah, this was the first time to speak to the assembled people who were going to actually be electing people. That was my first time.
You're usually known to stuff the ballots.
sorry about that.
That's all right.
So here it is. Here's the video. Let's give this a watch so you can see it and just kind of the feel from it. So they've already cast the ballots at this point, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Here we go.
Okay. We're going to do this. I don't want everybody rushing. I know everybody wants to rush up here and put their ballot in here. So we're going to have to make a line, and one person at a time.
Okay, so
that's right before they cast their ballot. Yeah.
Okay, so how many people were there?
There are a few different numbers. I heard something like 480 people altogether, but that could just be an inaccurate memory. But when I spoke to one of the fire marshals or staff, actually, the next day, they were saying that the high count was 480 or something in that range.
Hey, we're going to adjust your mic real quick. Liv,
okay, sorry.
No, don't be sorry. It's not you. We got to pick it up. So just as hard as we can. There you go. Just pick it straight up, Liv. Higher. And then we'll bend the mic down on the roller. There we go. This isn't you, man. It's me. We had. Yep. Put that mic like right in front of your mouth. We actually had a much smaller person. All right. So between 480, I think Breitbart originally said that there was 500 plus. Did everyone get to cast a ballot?
No. No.
So how many do you? I mean, I know that's a guess, and I know we don't have statistical numbers without an investigation and head count and all that other stuff. But what percentage would you say didn't get to vote?
Probably of the people who were there and wanted to vote, or who were trying to get in and wanted to vote, there's probably 25% of the people who didn't. So without doing that, like 25%. Well, that's probably, between 12 and 25%.
So that's a massive number of people. So even if we're taking the low end of that at 12 and you're timesing that by 5, you're talking about 60 votes, and you lost by how much? 19?
Right.
So that's a huge deal. So, I mean, immediately there should be a recount for this. I mean, just if we're just playing flag football and we're picking teams and stuff, you're probably going to go ahead and redo the count. What's the process look? Well, that's the appeal. We'll talk about that in a second. Yeah. So while you're watching this, is there noise going on outside? Are people like trying to get in? Is there some sort of, kerfuffle, or is it just business as usual?
No, the whole room was full, and there were essentially two scenes going on. There was the activity in the back. We'll just call it the back. That's where everybody was entering, checking in. And then the activity in the front, that's what we just saw in the video. That's where people were making their announcements. And so with the main activity being both places, I was switching back and forth. So right before it was time to start the meeting, I went out, and at the suggestion of somebody, they told me to go greet the people who were out in line, which I thought was a good idea. So I went through and I shook the hands of the people who, were willing to shake my hand.
Right. Were there some that weren't?
Well, some people just looked at me funny.
Okay.
And so I did that, and the line was outside the door at that point. Then we went back in, and right around that time, that's when we knew we had capacity issues. And so the fire marshal was standing right at the door saying, we can't let any more people in because there's a fire hazard.
Where was the sheriff at this time?
She was kind of around the entrance, and going back to the original video, it was actually her husband, George, who was the one who posted outside and was saying nobody can go in after this point. But this is a little after.
It's okay. Yeah. It's going to be fragmented a little bit. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, so many questions, but did they ask did they tell you how much the occupancy was?
I'm still not sure what the full occupancy is, but I think it's something like 460. And so with numbers like 480 being out there, I'm like, okay, fine.
Right.
So the discussion then became, okay, what are we going to do? And there was the suggestion that, well, there are some kids here and people who we know can't vote, so maybe we can just ask them to leave, and that would allow more people to come in. And somebody who is very intelligent made the wise suggestion, well, you're sending a bunch of kids out into a parking lot,
right?
And maybe a bunch of moms who are going to follow them who have just waited 2 hours to vote. So that's probably a non-starter, and I agreed on that. And so I ran it by David, and I said, well, why don't we just hold a vote, and then as people vote, the people who leave, we can let more people in to vote. And that's what we both agreed on, and that's what I went in and started the meeting with. I told the 450 or whatever number of people assembled there, it's like, we're going to have a vote. We're going to do it as quickly as possible, and we're going to get the people who are waiting outside to come in and vote.
Okay. So real quick, so did you feel that those people were cycled through, or did that not take place?
No. So at that point, I moved from the back of the room to the front of the room where we're giving our speeches and everything else. And so if there was anything going on in the back of the room, I wasn't really seeing or hearing it because it was pretty loud in the room. And so it wasn't until after the ballots were cast where people informed me that, that second wave of people, they were never checked in and they never got the chance to vote.
Okay. So that explains a lot. Liv, go ahead.
Okay. So what is actually supposed to happen? How is that vote supposed to happen?
Is it
how
supposed
does
to be
this
100
differ
people or 200
how does this
people?
differ from other votes that have happened in the past?
Yeah. So, I mean, I've been active in Republican politics at the local level for several years, but I haven't attended a mass meeting. And part of the reason for that is that it's not always necessary. Just depending on what's going on with the committee. So, but I have had a chance to review another one online from 2020. And in that situation, I think there were about 60 people who showed up for the mass meeting. And somebody else was recalling a time when there was 19 people at the Republican mass meeting.
What made this one? Were you guys giving away tacos or something?
In the 70s.
Free T-shirts?
Was it taco night?
Some of it, I think David did an excellent job, and the people who were supporting him did an excellent job of getting the word out. And then I guess I would have to say the same about me and my supporters.
Well, obviously, because it broke for both of you.
Yeah, and so that's one of the big differences is that usually we're dealing with a few dozen people. And the process is you check in. If you have to sign papers, that's all determined beforehand. And in this case, we were saying, you need to sign a paper attesting that you're a Republican. And then there's the critical piece where you gotta go through all the state rules and everything. But if somebody has participated in a primary in the past 5 years, that's not a Republican primary, then they have to renounce their affiliation with whatever party that is.
Right.
And that never happened. But it's black and white.
What?
It's black and white in the state plan. And we had determined beforehand that people were going to sign the attestation about their Republican affiliation.
Sure.
So that would be easy with 60 people, and it would cycle through. Everybody would check, has everybody signed the paper? And okay, well, everybody signed the paper. Now it's time to start the meeting, and we could go from there. But with that many people, there wasn't a way to check it except at the moment when people were filling out the papers.
Are you and like David Silik going to do like a cage match? Or do you guys get along in real life, or is there some animosity?
I don't have any personal animosity to David. Some of the things he's said have been pretty abrasive and irritating, but I can deal with that.
You seem like a nice guy. Like I don't know the guy, but I mean, I'm just looking at him and he just looks very, very angry. Very just uppity. You know, like Daddy Warbucks found somebody who peed in his soup. That's just my personal opinion. David, you're more than welcome to come on. I know you're going to watch this and people are going to show it to you. So we would love to have you on too. But you're a nice, affable guy. Is he as cantankerous as he seems? I'm not trying to corner you. I'm just asking. Is he?
He's really direct, and he has, I guess, sharp and direct way of dealing with things, and that served him well as an attorney. We're both attorneys in town, and maybe that's why I say I can deal with it. I mean, it's not a surprise to me. I mean, this is how it is in the business and in litigation, and he's been a litigator for a long time.
Yeah.
So, you know, you just take your lumps and you respond where you feel like you need to respond. But my style is to sort of just let a lot of that stuff roll by. So
let's go back to this video real quick and just kind of listen to the process and what took place. About a minute and a half, and it just shows you. Looks like the guy pulls the box, and then the vote takes place, and they cut it and show the result and call the vote. Here it is. Okay.
You're usually known to stuff the ballots.
Okay.
We're going to do this. I don't want everybody rushing. I know everybody wants to rush up here and put their ballot in here. So we're going to have to make a line, and one person at a time put their ballot in the box. If you haven't filled them out, fill them out now.
Okay, we're going to have another revote.
Oh, bullshit.
I'm just joking. Sorry, it's been late. So we have a vote count. I turn it over to Mr. Kurtz, who is the Credentials Committee Chairman, and he's going to explain not only the count, maybe explain first how many times you counted and how Mr. Lloyd and Mr. Silik's representative have both agreed on the count.
Okay, so we've been back there a while.
Is that true at that point? Did you agree?
At the final number? Well, the way that the purpose of a credentials committee is that the people who are on the committee have the chance to look at what the final numbers are, and in order for a matter to get out of the committee, you're supposed to have a vote.
Right.
And again, going back to this front of the room, back of the room divide, I'm in the front of the room. I'm not really seeing what's going on in the back of the room, but my assumption is that, okay, well, it's made it to the front of the room.
Right.
Then we've had a committee vote, and the people that I selected onto the committee, they've been able to see it and vote on whether these numbers are accurate.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of that didn't happen either.
Okay, so there's some procedural mishaps here.
Yeah.
That are SOP, and the way, I mean, you figure a bunch of lawyers would be like, listen, we're kind of running this roughshod here, and this isn't the right way to do things. And, you know, you want to do something with legality, because then that questions any impropriety is thrown out the window because it was done the way it's supposed to be done. I mean,
right.
Okay. All right. So I just want to make sure I'm not lost here. Libby.
No.
Okay, so there have been accusations that Democrats were allowed to vote. Do you have any proof of that?
Yeah, we have. I'll just. So I'm an attorney. I'll say that it's evidence, but it's and I'll describe the evidence, and then, you know, people, including the committee, are going to make their determination about it. But what people saw, and again, I'm in the front of the room, and I have a broad view of what's going on, not necessarily seeing everybody who's in there, but people who have been active or grew up in the community and know some of these people from the Democratic Party. They throughout the night, they were identifying people. Hey, I know that person because I know them to be part of the Warren County Democratic Committee, or I know what they say on Facebook, or I see them at the polls and they're on the opposite side trying to get people to vote Democrat. And so there's recognition, or there's just knowledge from being in the community that, yeah, these people are Democrats. And That's one thing. So you can have people in the room who aren't voting. And so I needed, as part of the process of gathering evidence here, I wanted to confirm with people, all right, well, they were in the room. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
Did they vote? And it's like, yes, they voted. Okay. Are you willing to submit a statement that they voted? Yes. Are you willing to sign your name at the bottom and then add verification language to say that you're testifying to this under oath? Yes, I'm willing to do that. Okay, well then that's evidence to me, and that's worth.
Yeah,
that's worth.
It sounds like an
in.
affidavit to me.
And then we have other people where we have their online presence and their what is it? If you voted for Trump, you should die, or something along those lines, and calling me a piece of shit or something along those lines.
Well, there's rumors that that there were people with ties to Antifa were there.
This is the one that really sticks in my mind that we're talking about. And so just extraordinarily leftist politics, anti-ICE and everything else.
Yeah.
We know this person, we know them from their online presence. We see them in the room, and then not me, but supporters of mine, they see him walking up with a ballot, so they start filming him. They film him drop it into the ballot box, and like, all right, so you're a Democrat or you're not. Now you welcome to the Republican Party, I guess. And so,
listen, this isn't the first time. This has been talked about. And a lot of these groups, including Antifa and some of the other more militant activist groups, have talked about infiltrating local elections and doing exactly this, registering Republican, even though their true loyalties are to the Democratic Party, and smudging the vote.
Yeah.
So, okay, all right. Well, watch the rest of this so we can get through this video. And then the appeal is also, holy moly, wait till you guys hear this. Here we go.
Just because the vote was very close, we recounted, checked again, looked on the floor for anything dropped, but both representatives agreed that the count that we came up with was the correct count.
Is that true?
At that point, I didn't have any information to say that the numbers were incorrect. And again, my assumption was, okay, this is going through committee and this is voted out onto the floor.
See, this is insane. And it almost seems like they're begging the question. Like, they're like, well, we'll both agreed, So it's like, it's trying to cover CYA, it's like a little bit of foreshadowing to what's going to come around the corner with questions about this. Is like, well, they both agreed. Right. They both said it was okay. Well, that's fine. But when you start seeing that multiple people who weren't supposed to be there voted, when you see Democrats were voting, you got members of Antifa there who are influencing the voter voting.
And that people should have voted, couldn't.
You're right. I mean, of course, it's like, I agree to up to a point, but it's interesting that they would say that, Okay, all right. So at this point, here's the actual call.
The counts were as follows: Scott Lloyd, 206 votes.
So you already know you lost right there, right? So you're like, he called you first. So you're like, okay, I'm done. You're at 206. Did that number surprise you? Were you like, 206, that's a pretty good number? Or were you kind of like, wow, that's a little light from what I was expecting?
No. And actually, just to clarify, he had taken us aside right before and said, hey, these are the numbers that we came up with. And it's like, okay, that's fine. And they did that in order to give me an opportunity to concede. And it was a decision point, because it's like, well, you can concede and just have this go away. But that I had already heard about people getting turned away out of the back. So the questions about whether the total was correct hadn't been brought to me, but the issue of the people never getting in the first place had already been brought up. And it's like, all right, well, no, I'm not going to concede at this point. We need to look and find out what happened with the people in the back.
So you did not concede at all.
Right. And so that's why they went ahead and announced the totals. And for me to get 206, and not to spoil it for anybody, but for him to get 225, I was actually kind of, people were telling me, Scott, you're going to lose 2 or 3 to 1. You're going to get slaughtered. I'm like, all right, fine. That, whatever. I said my piece. I put my hat in.
Right.
And so for us to come within 19, it's like, oh, all right.
That doesn't sound like a slaughter to me.
No.
It sounds like, you know what it sounds like to me? And I'm not one of these people. I'm not a conspiracy guy. You've watched my show for 5 minutes. I'm not. You know what it sounds like to me? Wow, this is a lot closer than we thought. We need to do whatever we can to make sure that this guy doesn't win. That's what it sounds like to me took place. Now, that might be just based on anecdotal, talking points or conversations or one-offs or people I've talked to on the phone. But if it was, you're going to get slaughtered, you should drop out, this is going to be embarrassing for you, to, oh my gosh, this was actually a lot closer than we thought. There's also some of the way the behavior that they had after the meeting is I alluded to Matt from Breitbart, who has a video of him confronting these guys. And I guess they were in a back room for like an hour after all of this. And the best way that he could describe it is that they were kind of all getting on the same page of what they were going to say. And to me, it's easy to go down this rabbit hole, but there's just the plethora of evidence, or at least the demonstration of impropriety is enough to recall this thing and say, let's do it again. And let's put some things in place. Here's the call. And look where you're sitting. You're all the way on the other side of the room. Watch that.
David Silik, 225 votes. Congratulations, David. You can address review committee.
No. Okay. So Liv, I know you got a question. I got to get to some of this though. 62 page of essentially it's a challenge, and it's written in legalese, and you sent it to me, but I read this a week ago. I've been studying this thing for a while. Here are my notes, the things that I found from this, and I'm going to share it with everybody, and you can tell me what you think and say, okay, so here's the challenge, and please tell me if I've missed something. Over 100 members allegedly removed or denied participation during the meeting, raising serious concerns about mass disenfranchisement inside closed party process. True or false?
The number is unclear, but it's unquestionable that people, they were not let in. They were coming to, and one of the important things, I don't know if this is on your short list, but there was nothing anywhere that said that we're closing the doors at 7. And I mean, this is an important part of the procedures. There was a call that went out 2 weeks beforehand, and you look in the language of that call, doors open at 6. The meeting starts at 7. It doesn't say anything about people not getting in after 7 p.m.
Dirty.
And so people are saying, hey, I'm going to be 2 or 3 minutes late, but I'll still be able to get in.
Right.
I've got to put the kids to bed, or I've got to finish dinner, or people had trouble parking.
What type of working family, who most of them work in Washington, D.C., are home, done with dinner, and put the kids to bed by 7?
Right. So
come on.
So I mean, that's one of the major concerns with that, is that this is why that matters. Nothing anywhere said that we're turning people away at the door, and that happened.
Okay. So, sorry, I'm trying to get this big for everybody. That's what she said. A temporary chair was installed and exercised authority to run the election, despite disputes over whether that authority was legitimate under party rules. True or false?
There's been a question about, the person who was a temporary chair, let me just see. It's standard procedure to elect a temporary chair just to run the meeting. But in this case, the person was a resident of Virginia. He's a former resident of Virginia, and honestly, I don't know. I think he still keeps property. He's a friend of mine too.
Okay.
But that was one of the questions. It's like, okay, well, he's been living out of state for several years now. Does that somehow affect his eligibility to be the temporary chair?
Well, yeah, we would have to look at, I mean, I'm assuming you guys, I don't think it would be a constitution, but you would have some meeting rules and precedent and challenges that have taken place in the past. Is that correct? Yeah,
well, and that repository is essentially with the state Republican Party, the Republican Party of Virginia. We shortened it to RPV, and then to a lesser extent with the 6th District GOP or Republican committee. But, these challenges they happen, but it's not like they're frequent. And so there might be a big gap in time. And so a committee might not have a challenge fresh in memory, but then they'll go to the state, and that's where that information sort of lives.
Yeah, we do interact with our audience here. So Angie Clark Robinson had some things to say, and she sounds like a huge fan of yours. Says Lloyd was connected to worst leadership in county's history. He has no idea how. I don't know if she's for you or against you, Bubba. It's hard for me to tell. Like at some points, I'm like, oh yeah, she loves you, and then I'm like, oh, well, maybe not. Has no idea how many were outside. If I'm not mistaken, I'm not here to defend Scott. I'm not his attorney. I'm not even his friend. I will be after this. But I don't think he's said that how many people are outside. In fact, he's corrected that number where he isn't exactly certain. He has no idea if there were Democrats there just because someone told him. Well, it's not that. I guess there's been some identification of people who go to these things. And in Virginia, I've been to enough of these things to see the same people show up to these events, and whether it be school board meetings when we were going after LCPS in Fairfax or here locally, you see the same people, and they always have the same MO. Everyone knows who I am. I know who they are. We all do the same job, and we all are, influencers in our own right. Some of us have more influence than others, but we all kind of know the footprint that we leave. Mm-hmm. He chose his rules committee people, and they agreed. The meeting was a mess. Because this is where I think she's on your side again. The meeting was a mess because the previous leadership didn't prepare. I was there at this meeting. His chairman of the board walked out. Okay, so I'm going to let Scott address that. But once again, for anyone to say the meeting was a mess, immediately in my eyes, not as an attorney or not somebody who slept at a Holiday Inn last night, leads me to believe that actually supports his case, that it was run roughshod and wasn't followed by the proper policy. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been a mess. Scott, what do you say?
Well, in a situation like that where there's hundreds of people, in some ways it was sort of refreshing to see that much participation. You're going to expect things, just a lot of people. There was one question. It's like, okay, well, this line is queuing up here. If we move this giant line a few spaces down, then we can have everything work more efficiently. And so you start asking dozens of people to move at the same time, and people in the front are starting to get angry that they're losing their place in line. And so you got to, no, you're not losing your place. We're just moving the whole line over, blah, 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 blah. And so is that chaos? It's just managing a lot of people. But where it really mattered was at the credentials committee, where in the lead up, the discussion was constant. It's like, we are going to have people attest in writing to them being part of the Republican Party, and this is what we're insisting on. And this is in writing. The former chairman said, no, we're going to make everybody attest to being a Republican. Okay. And that written record was the important thing. And that was one of the things that was not adhered to.
Right. That's the next one. Voting reportedly took place while credentialing and eligibility disputes were still unresolved, meaning people may have voted before it was clear who was actually allowed to vote.
Right. And then there's no remaining record of those attestations. And that was a big mistake.
Angie, you should call into the show, because you obviously have a lot to say about this, and then that's fine. And we're fine. Or why don't you do me a favor? I can get you booked on the show, and you can come on and we can have a merry old time. Phone number is 276-200-2105. Seems like you got a lot to say, and we're willing to hear what you have to say. Individuals were allegedly admitted or denied entry inconsistently with no clear uniformly applied standard of who could participate. Claims that non-members or improperly credentialed individuals may have been allowed to vote. Allegations that doors were effectively closed or access restricted while voting was going on. Assertions. All right. So here's the question. And then I know Olivia's got a couple too. Were you a person who was involved in making these decisions on how the meeting was run? Because it seems like Angie Clark Robinson, who you may or may not know, seems to think that you were a part of the planning, so therefore you're the reason it was so bad.
Well, I was a secretary and part of the executive committee during the lead up, but as a matter of I don't know, just there's the formal reality and there's the practical reality.
Right.
The practical reality was, okay, well, hey, I'm the secretary. I'm going to be running for chairman. I'm going to be focusing on my, essentially campaign to be the chairman. Number one. Number two, if somebody were to come to me and say, hey, Scott, you're going to run this mass meeting, I'd say, hey, that is a bad idea because I have not attended a mass meeting. I don't run mass meetings. But number three, the chairman at the time, he did make his decision. He said, I'm going to put these personnel in place because they have been to mass meetings. They have run mass meetings in the past and they have experience with this. They've done it in Warren County, so they're the best people for the job. And I was comfortable with the people he sort of decided on because of that reason, because I know that they had been active in the past. And actually, one of the people is a member of the 6th District Committee, and in a certain sense, outranks the former chairman of the executive committee. And so in some ways he was bringing in like a big dog to run the mass meeting. And in that sense, it's like, okay, well, let's talk with those people about what's going to happen. And from, I don't know, for a full week, we're having this discussion, who's going to sign what? And we determined that in black and white in writing, and that didn't happen. And so to the extent that I had, control, or I was running things, this is exactly what we decided was going to happen, and it didn't happen. And so that's why we have a challenge right now. If it had happened, then there would be nothing for me to say.
So George Klein has entered. You guys, I'm a Virginian, I'm a Texan, and I'm a Californian. So, which means that I'm completely aware that I'm a bleeding heart liberal state produced child, but I'm also a born again Christian Texas conservative who happens to live in a predominant conservative Virginia state, which is being held hostage by a bunch of blue dog Democrats who are progressive. But y'all seem to be rallying against Scott pretty hard, and I wonder why. So you've known when the show's going to be, and I've given you the opportunity to state your case, and Scott's here taking rounds, but you don't want to put in the skin into the game, so you're going to question a man's integrity. You're going to call him a liar. That's what you've done. And you won't have the courage to call in. To me, I thought Virginians were stronger than that. I thought we were better than that. So I don't take the word of people who are too cowardly to pick up the phone and say, you know what, I'm going to make my accusations in person. So I don't think Scott's been lying. I think Scott's been giving you his recollection of the event, with many people saying the same thing. And like I said, it's funny we're not hearing from those people. Well, I've heard from those people, but a lot of those people are scared. And the 7 people that I've talked to from Front Royal are actually terrified of the sheriff, and have repeatedly told me that they are fearful of retaliation from this sheriff. And it's interesting that you guys are here rah, rah, rah for David, but you seem to want to attack Scott at the same time. So let me ask you a question. The people who are challenging him, and maybe I just feel I need to defend the guy since nobody else is, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Here's the question. If he failed at preparation of this event and he didn't do a job that was effective, then why do you support the results? Yeah, I'm pretty fucking good at what I do, folks. You can call in if you want, but good luck arguing that point with me. If he's so shitty at his job, then why are you celebrating that David won? You can't have it both ways. It can't be a failure and then the results actually stand up. So let him go through his appeal and let's see what happens. So what's next, Scott? Sorry, I dropped the F-bomb. There's censor button. I forgot to do it. Scott, what's next?
So in the process, you mean?
Yeah. Well, hold on. We got somebody calling in. Let's see what happens. There we go. See, all you got to do is push the ego button, and people go, oh, well, you know what? I'm going to pick up the phone. Hi, who are we talking to?
Hi, you're talking to Joyce Blankenship.
Hi,
and
Joyce.
I was at the meeting.
How are you?
And they're right when they say it was a mess. They kept changing the times. My husband and I decided to go a little bit later, and there was already a line out the door in the cold dark in front of the building. And we finally managed to push our way through into the building, but there were still people that had come up behind us and were outside of the building. Mm-hmm. Yes, it was hard to park. We had to park across the street, but there was, I don't want to say plenty of parking, but there was parking out there. We found it right in the back of the flower shop. Okay. And I went in, they were still open. And I said, is it okay if I park here? I'm going across the street to vote. And she said, oh, yeah, sure. I think they were getting ready to close anyways. But anyways, that's besides the point. Anyways, we were in there, and there was a person, we were all talking because I knew everybody just about that was around. We were all together. And I see everybody getting these white slips. And I go, what is this white slip? So I went up to one of the people I asked, and I said, what is this? And she showed me. And I said, oh, I need two, one for me and one for my husband. I said, let me go see if I can get some. So I said to my husband, make sure you stay in line. Don't let anybody get in front of you. We're far enough behind, I said. And I went up the stairs, excuse me, all the way up the stairs. And finally I was very close to the door, and I was trying to get in the door. And I really can't tell you who it was that was stopping me. He had a uniform on, and somebody said that they thought it might have been the fire chief or whatever. Okay. And he says, you can't come in here. And I said, I'm not coming in to come in. I'm coming in to get one of those white forms that everybody has. Everybody has it except a couple of people here. And I'm one of them. Okay. And my husband's the other one. I want two of them. No, actually, he asked me how many I needed, and I said two. He says, and he was trying to, I said, no, I just want the paper. I was getting mad. And he said, finally, he grabbed somebody and says, she just needs the papers. Give her the papers. So they gave me the papers, and I went down and brought them, and we filled them out. And by the time we got up, they were, what Scott was saying, that they were moving the lines to the side, and we just did what we were told. We went there, and then all of a sudden it turned around, and we were online, and we went, and we got on a line. They asked us questions. We filled it out, and then we tried to get a seat. My husband and I both are handicapped, and so we were dying when we found out we had to stand. And I said, well, wait a minute. They told us we can come in, vote, and leave. And that didn't happen. Jeez. And so finally, there was a man, I was in terrible, terrible pain, and I couldn't stand up anymore. And I'm more, what do you say? Well, first of all, I'm losing my vocabulary, but I'm not losing my mind
Joyce,
yet.
Listen, Joyce.
I'm very forceful, let me put it this way. And I went up to some man and I said, listen, he was standing up and his chair was behind him. I said, would you be willing to give an old lady your chair with a bad back, your chair? And he said, sure, here. He let me sit down. I said, can you find one for my husband? And he found one for my husband, too. So we were sitting on all the way on the right side, but all the way up front. Okay. Right. And I couldn't really see what was going on because there was so much of the stage in front of us. But what really, really drove me crazy was the fact, and aside from everything else people are seeing, I didn't know any of the above, what they just said right now until Scott and I found out afterwards that happened. But what got me was that that guy, David Silik, was arrogant. Scott was trying to find a nice word for him, but it was nothing else but arrogant. And he was boastful, and he just wanted to get up there and talk. They decided on, and they told us ahead of time, we have people outside, and we got to get them out. We got to get you out. We got to get them in. And so they're only going to talk 5 minutes each. I went, 5 minutes? What can you say in 5 minutes? So they flipped a coin or whatever they did. I remember it, and David went first, and he got up there, and all I can say was he was very boastful.
Yeah, I saw it. I watched it.
And well, I was. You were there, or
no?
Watch
I watched the
movie?
video. So you got the Front Royal posted an hour and 27 minutes. George Klein is very frustrated. Says you weren't there, buddy. Well, I never claimed I was, Georgie. But I did watch the video, and I did sleep at a Holiday Inn Express last night. I think somebody who's worked on $2.1 billion P&Ls for Comcast and Apple and run a gubernatorial race, and I think I'm okay handling a local podunk town committee meeting, but who knows? Maybe it's beyond me. Listen, I love this lady, Joyce. Matt says hello, Matt Pretty, and he says that you're a great person.
I said hello.
Joyce, I hope you keep watching.
Boy, I tell you, really, I mean, I want to know, my question is, this is my question.
Okay.
I have one question.
Okay.
And then I'll leave, I'll shut up.
You're okay.
Then, why did the timekeeper didn't stop him at 5 minutes? That was what they all said that was going to happen. Why? If there was a clock that was broken, if it was broken, he didn't have a clock. Didn't anybody else have a watch there? Wasn't there anybody else besides this guy that was seeing him? I don't know everybody's name up there, but there were a whole bunch of those two people you had just on the video with the box and everything. Why didn't they say, okay, 5 minutes is up or 10 minutes is up? But it just kept going and going and going. And I was sitting there suffering with my back, and all I wanted to do was vote and get out. And he just kept on going. And I thought that was pretty. To me,
you could say it, Joyce. Say the word. Joyce, say the word. I know what you want to say. Say the word. What was it to you? It was, here, I'll do it for you.
Bullshit.
Did that work? Is that the word you were looking for? All right. See, it was the word.
It was, yeah. Anyways, that whole thing was just planned. It was so planned. They knew, no, and Scott wasn't going to be able to talk. And this guy, he just went on and on and on and on and on and drove me crazy, just like I'm doing, and driving you crazy. But it was so obvious.
She's amazing. Joyce, okay. Can I ask a question? Do you participate in any libations at all? Wine, whiskey, vodka? Do you drink at all? Seriously, good question.
No.
Okay, here's what I want you. Here's what I want.
I do not.
I want you.
I wish I did.
I know. I was gonna say there's a solution for this, and it's a glass of scotch. Joyce, I love you. You're amazing. I want you to call in the show again, and God bless you. Thank you for calling in, having the courage where other people don't. I appreciate you.
Okay.
Thanks, Joyce.
All right.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. We got a person calling again. Phones are hot, folks, so we're going to go ahead and answer it. All right. You're on the Don't Unfriend Me show. This is Matt. Just turn your show down if you don't mind so you can not echo. We would appreciate it.
Yeah.
And what do you want to talk about?
Well, my name is Steve, and Scott knows me. I was also supposed to go to the meeting. I was told it was going to be at 7 o'clock. I got there late, about 5 minutes late, so I get to the parking lot, and it's just crammed full of cars. I'm like, what is with this? All these cars. I'm driving around trying to get a spot.
How many cars would you say, Steve? I mean, you're from a small town. You know the parking lot. How many cars would you say are out there?
I would say over 200. I mean, I couldn't. It was like all the way from one end of the parking lot past the other side. I mean, this is a fire department, so they had a lot of parking there, but it was just crammed full.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
So I get out of the car. I'm walking up to the door, and George Klein is standing there with some other guy, And I about to go around him, and George goes, "Oh, you can't go in." I said, "What do you mean?" And he goes, "No, they closed the doors."
Is this George Klein Jr., the one who's talking right here?
The guy, well, it's the husband of the sheriff, George Klein.
Is this? Hold on a second. Is this wait? This is the sheriff's husband right here, Scott, who's talking.
I think that's correct. It's a little obscured from where I'm at. But
okay, all right, George. Okay, I see because I've got a George Klein Jr. in chat who's reading the Riot Act right now. And you know, just blah 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 blah. And if this is the same George, this is interesting. Okay, so keep going, Steve. You're doing. Yep, it is him. Oh, George Klein Jr. Oh boy. All right. So this is the sheriff's husband.
Yeah,
It's interesting. I got a question.
Hold
on a second, Steve. Hey, I got a question for you, George. When I called the sheriff's department and I asked for the after action report of this because there was an alleged incident where your wife assaulted somebody, I got a quick question for you. Why is the sheriff's department lying and saying she wasn't there at all and it was a deputy? Just wondering, George, because I have that on recording. Would you like me to play it? No answer?
Well, I can't answer that.
Oh, I know, Steve. I'm a little fired up. Go ahead, Steve.
All right. So I get to the door, and George Klein says you can't go in, and he says that the fire marshal has closed the doors and said that no one else can go in. There's only 400 who were allowed to go in. And I said, "Oh, really?" And I said, "Okay." So I stood there for a couple seconds, trying to figure out what I was going to do. And he goes, "Why are you standing here?" Or something like that. And I said, "I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to go for the next hour and a half so I can come back after people leave and vote." And he goes, "Oh, no, that's not going to happen. They've closed the doors. No one else can vote. You can't go in. They're not going to open the doors, and you can't go and vote." And I said, "Well, so I can't go in after somebody comes out and go in and vote?" He goes, "No, it's closed." And I said, "Well, in that case, I might as well just go home."
No way.
And I did.
So there's one vote.
Oh, yeah.
So now it's 18 votes. Now it's 18. He lost by 18. And I've talked to 7 people. 4 of those people weren't able to vote either. So let me see if my George Bush math is correct, because I didn't graduate college. But that would be 14 votes. Now, here's the thing. In every other election across the country, if you don't have a full percentage point or at least get 50% of the vote, usually there's a recall. Most states have that. In fact, 37 states in our union have a recall. So explain to me this. Why wouldn't we do a recall on this when we had, 480 to 500 plus votes? Even if you take, Scott, you got what, 206?
Yes.
And then he got 225. If I'm not mistaken, we're 440, 450, somewhere around there. Even if you take 0.5% of that, that's got to make you ask the question, why aren't we doing a recall? Why aren't we doing this again? And this is the argument that should be made during this appeal, is that it's small enough and we have enough anecdotal evidence and people who are willing to sign their name on the dotted line attesting to this. And it's amazing that George got quiet when I mentioned the assault. Where are you, George? Did George just poof?
Are going after him.
I think your wife grabbed you and said, "Get off this damn chick," because you know what? Because this might just turn into a legal case. And you guys might want to be careful. You don't have a very good reputation in your town. People are terrified of you. I don't know what type of stuff you're doing in your town, but you guys aren't very popular. Look at Steve. Steve was turned away by the sheriff's husband. What are you doing? Turning people away as a husband. What's your role?
Enforcing rules.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Are you an actual deputy? Were you hired to be there, or were you told by the committee that you were to be there for enforcement? Because if not,
then why are you turning people away? That doesn't make any sense.
That sounds a little shady to me.
I think he openly admitted that he was interfering with the election. That's what it sounds like to me.
That's what it sure sounds
Steve,
like.
I appreciate you calling in, man. Very brave, and thank you so much.
Absolutely.
We appreciate you, Bubba. Talk to you soon.
All right. Bye-bye.
I have evidence that shows otherwise. Well, it doesn't sound like it, George, because now you've got this guy saying it. You've got people who actually are accusing your wife of assaulting them, putting their hands on them. I am a person who is trying to be as impartial as I can, but you guys seem pretty desperate to make sure that this man doesn't get a chance to talk. So we're not going to shut him up. Go ahead, Liv.
I would like to see this evidence that Mr. Klein has. Why don't you call the show or you can send over the evidence via email or text.
George, you could ask your wife's
sure
permission. I'm sure she would let you.
To see this.
Yeah. It's interesting. Scott's like, holy crap, I didn't know it was going to go like this. I thought this was going to be a basic.
I didn't know you never know what to expect with this stuff.
You know what? I don't appreciate it because I'll tell you what. I've been doing this a long time and I can smell a lie like a fart in a car. And I know when people are trying to cover something up and they're not allowing the truth to get out. And we don't do that here. So I'm not attacking anyone over there, and I'm not saying you're doing something wrong, but you seem to be pretty aggressive towards a man who ran for office. You know, that's all he did. We've got somebody on the phone. Who is it? What do you want to talk about?
Hi, my name is Megan.
Hi, Megan.
I just wanted to call and briefly just let Scott know that we're so proud of him for doing this. It's a lot of work. It's definitely very, very necessary. What happened was completely unfair and staged and just evil, really. And, Scott's fighting the good fight, and I just want to let him know that, we support him fully.
And let me ask you a question. Why was George Klein turning people away? What authority does he have in the town? Is he a deputy? Was he a master at arms? Why would he be turning people away?
Because he loves telling people what to do.
Sounds like he tried to do that with me.
Wife.
He tried to do that with me. It didn't go over very well. He won't even call in. Megan, do you think people are afraid of the sheriff? Because that's what I'm hearing. I've heard that multiple times, that people think that if they say something, that she'll make their life a living hell. Do you think that's true?
Yes.
Thanks, Megan.
Yeah,
did you
there
get
had
to
been
vote?
a meeting where I called them out at one point for supporting an opposing candidate, and I ended up getting a really nasty email from George, actually calling me a liar, saying that I was evil and all these things. And all I did was point out that he and his wife had publicly supported an opponent to someone that the committee had been running. So given that treatment and the other things that I've heard, yeah, of course, I would imagine people are scared of the sheriff, and George isn't, someone you want to necessarily get on the bad side of either, but I think he's probably more hot air than anything.
Megan,
Megan, like some shady
will you
stuff
forward
going
that
on.
to me, please? That email. You can do it at Matt at the Dumb Show, because we want to keep blowing the lid off on this. And at this point, I'm not happy, and I think I need to come to Front Royal. I think I need to go to this appeal. I think because I am a loud son of a gun, and I'm really good at what I do.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it is. We might be going. Megan, you're a doll. Thanks for calling so much. We appreciate you.
This reminds me of not to take the focus off that, but this reminds me of something that we went through in 2022. Which we'll go through.
It does. George Klein says, ask Scott why I don't support him. Is it because he tried to name Trump Boulevard? Is that why he tried to name a street after Donald Trump? I have a feeling it has to do with his political affiliation of why you don't support him. But let's ask Scott. Scott, why doesn't George support you?
I have no idea.
He hasn't.
I don't know. What I do know is that when I again, this is for the chairman. This is the chairman of the Republican Party. It's not for a statewide election or anything. And really, a lot of the times it's unopposed and there's no campaign or anything.
Right.
And so I think I announced that I'm running, that I'm one of the candidates, and Crystal Klein, his wife, says something like, these attacks on the library and this extreme Catholic agenda needs to stop.
Oh boy, here we go.
What is my agenda? My agenda is to get Republicans elected. So what are the words that you're putting in my mouth? She went back and she revised the Catholic piece, but not before people got a screenshot. I had actually not seen it until after everything happened. But okay, so this is an extreme Catholic agenda that I'm pushing. So whatever the hell that means, that's why I'm going to guess.
Are you even Catholic?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's Catholic.
Yeah, so
Baptist, right? Yeah.
Catholic Baptist.
Yeah,
something like that.
Catholic Presbyterian Baptist.
Yeah.
Because it's amazing when people say that Catholic doctrine. What you're trying to say is the Word of God.
Yeah.
Because he's a Christian.
As
all Catholics are. Whether you knew that, George, or not, he's a Christian. So
that's what I tried to be. But in any case, so I'm like, well, wait a second. I have no idea what agenda they're talking about, because I explained what I wanted to do. I wanted to focus on election integrity of all things. And I wanted to focus on increasing Republican turnout and say, what the hell, what is the issue with that agenda?
You came on here and started the conversation that there is a fractal split inside the Republican Party, and you're seeing it right now.
Yeah.
What I don't understand, George, what I don't understand, everyone else, the two people who are fighting the hardest here, you're Republicans. What do you get by tearing him down? This man served his country. He served the administration. He served in Washington, D.C. He's done amazing things with his life. Now, if I'm wrong about Scott, that's fine. I might find some things out that I don't like about him. But what I do know is he's here and he's talking, and you guys aren't willing to. You guys sound like leftists. You don't sound like Republicans. You sound like leftists. And what they do is they tear people down, and they make pejorative, anecdotal, petulant comments that are ad hominem versus addressing the facts. And I don't hear facts. I have a bunch of proof, but you're not willing to share it. When he's here telling you, it's really interesting to me. Folks, we're going to go in overtime tonight, and we're going to let Scott get out of here. We're staying on, and we're going to do our full show after this, but it's worth it to get it done. Scott, how can we support you? I'm going to be working with Breitbart. I've got a couple of videos to show where I've got Mr. Klein's wife and her response that they were not diametrically opposed to have Democrats vote into this. We also have them telling a committee member. But the really interesting thing is, what happened right after this meeting? Didn't they cut down the overall representation of the amount of committee members that were here to like 100 or something? It was like 250 plus, and then they cut it down. What happened there?
It was an illegitimate stunt. It was basically afterwards they come along and they say, "Oh, didn't you see what happened? We changed the structure of the committee." It's like, "Oh, when what are you talking about? When did that happen?" Well, suddenly only 102 people can be part of the committee, and we already have those 102 people, so thank you very much. And it's like, well, wait a second, what? And so in order to try and pick apart what they were talking about, even so if you go into the state plan, there are two ways that you can structure a committee. There's the standard way and the optional way, or something like that. And so you can do that. It also says in the state plan, if you want to do that, you need to put it in the call for the mass meeting, which I referred to earlier. And so we had to have at least 2 weeks notice that this was going to happen. But we were informed afterwards, oh, this happened sometime. Nobody's even tried to allege where it happened. And so we've gone back and in our appeal, we sort of guessed where they're saying that they think that this happened. But in any case, they're now running their meetings as though we can only have 102 people in the committee, which I'm saying to myself, wait a second. We had 500 people plus show up to a Republican event. This is great. Let's let them all into the committee to the extent that they can. I mean, when have we had this sort of participation in Republican events? This is great. This is exactly what we want as a party. And they're saying, no. We're going to go from 251 to 102. We're going to cut it more than in half. And that's insane. That's one of the things that really pushed me over the edge with challenging this. Is like, what are you trying to pull? This is not, you're not even trying to pretend like you're following any sort of the rules. And
get mad, Scott. I'm mad. You get mad too.
I got a question.
Does everyone get mad?
What do these committee members do? What is their job?
So the committee, basically, we endorse candidates in the run up to elections. That's one of the main focuses, and so it's important in our local politics because the people who get that endorsement. When I ran for town council, I went and I got the endorsement of the Republican Party, and it's like, okay, well, if you have the endorsement, then you're on the sample ballot, and a lot of people, they're showing up to an election, but they're not necessarily informed on what's going on at the local level. And so they know they can trust that Republicans have been vetted and that the Republican committee is endorsing those people. So it has that importance in the lead up to an election, but also there's the get out the vote function that we perform. And so, right now we're getting signs out for this redistricting, also a illegitimate stunt. And like basically raising awareness, making sure that there's lots of coverage throughout the town as to these things are going on, that there are people who are volunteering and manning all the polling stations, not only on the day of the election, but in the run-up and the early voting spots. So it's basically just making sure the bodies are there, that the information is out there.
Gotcha. So they just basically took it from, they cut it in half to the people they want to be there.
George Klein Jr. is back. Klein Jr. says no one objected to the vote during the mass meeting. No one contested. RVP confirmed it. However, he didn't concede. That's contestation. There was no concession. So obviously, once he started hearing some of the things that were taking place, he said no. And you don't have to like that, but that's where it's at. I cannot show the full video here because it will not let me expand, but this is just released on Breitbart. If you head on over to Breitbart, you can read it. There's a full new article that's in conjunction with our show, and you can go over there. We'll get you the link so you can read it yourself. But here is a recently released video from Matt Purdy, who is it Matt Purdy or Matt Purdy? Purdy, I thought so. But Matt is pretty from what I've heard. So this is the sheriff. This is George Klein, his wife. And this is Matt recording us. Then I have another one from Matt that you need to see.
How you guys doing? It's good to see you. Good to see you. Likewise. How you been? What's your name, miss? Good to meet you. Breitbart News. Mind if we ask some questions about the mass meeting? No, that's not what I'm here. Okay, so do you guys think it's okay for Democrats to vote in Republican committee elections?
It's very nice talking to you. I'll get with you about that.
Do you guys think it's okay for Democrats to vote in
These are Republicans? These are Republicans who are afraid to talk to other Republicans. Oh, boy.
Republican committee elections?
So this meeting was set up to talk with community members in the South River District so that any issues or events or anything that they have.
Caller, we're watching a video right now, so just hang tight. We'll be right with you, and we'll take your call.
A question about they can come here and talk directly with people. So that's what the focus of this meeting is.
Yeah.
Well, we totally understand. I just wanted to give you the opportunity to share your side of the story if you're open to it, or
this is not the forum, that isn't what this is for.
Would you be open to like a phone call or a later date or something?
You can talk to the people that set up the mass meeting or on command.
Did you have anything to do with any level of organizing or working for or with the committee during the mass meeting?
I mean, I was asked to be in on one of the committees.
Was it like the credentials?
Not coming up with it. To decide, going through all of the applications on who is going to be a member of the committee. But like I said, this is not the meeting for that. We're talking to community.
Well, this is relevant to the community, I think.
I'm not here to talk about the mass meeting. I didn't have anything to do with that.
Well, I mean, you were there and you were helping.
Your husband sure had a lot to do with it. I mean, I guess that kind of, when my wife does something, it usually means that I'm involved in some way, either me getting yelled at or I have to participate or lift a couch or something. But I don't know. Maybe that's just me and my marriage. Maybe you guys have a different relationship.
But I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk to the South River folks to figure out if there is anything that we can do further from them.
Okay, I'm sorry, but just regarding the applications,
so you're going to continue not to listen to me, which I find disrespectful.
I apologize.
I asked very nicely that this is not the meeting for that.
Well, this is a government building. It's a public place, so.
The focus of the meeting, not appropriate. Thank you. Very nice.
It's good.
All right, so we'll get you the link on that. Here is, we have a caller who's calling in. What's your name?
Hello?
Hello. Sorry, we had to watch that video. I apologize. Who are we talking to? What's your name?
Hi, my name is Steve Young.
Hi, Steve. What do you want to talk about?
Hey, so I just want to address a couple things. First of all, the presence of the sheriff at the event that night, Crystal Klein. I was a member of the nominations committee as one of Scott Lloyd's designees, and Crystal Klein was a member of that committee, and she sat to my right. And you brought up the question of the membership of the committee and its numbers. And we had, at that night, a stack of about 180, I believe we counted, 180 or 181 applications for membership in the committee. And we sat there in the committee. Bridget Madden was the chair. And we decided that, okay, well, we'll count 102 random applications and submit these with the proviso, this is important, with the proviso that anyone not selected that evening would be able to join the committee at the next or future meeting of the Republican committee. So that it would not cap it at 102, but allow an additional memberships for those who were not selected that night. Otherwise, can you imagine the chaos that might have ensued had we said, 102 who were elected? We had no way of vetting anyone at that moment. So we had to insert that proviso that people could join later.
Proviso,
and that's really what I wanted to comment on.
Proviso being the Latin for provision. We're a bunch of small town folk here, so we're trying to help everybody make sure they understand proviso. Steve, your thoughts on this, man? I mean, this is hard because a lot of this is anecdotal. There are people who are willing to put their name on it. It seems like there's a lot of frustrated people out here.
Well, this is not an anecdote. This is my experience.
No, I'm just talking about other people.
I sat next to Crystal Klein. So here's the thing. I sat next to Crystal Klein. I've met Crystal Klein. The reason I remember this moment because I made the joke that to her that my father was a county sheriff in Ohio, so I always have respect for the sheriffs in every county I visit. So, yes, we had a relationship that evening or an exchange that evening that I remember. So she was there at the meeting.
Yes, sir.
She was on that committee. So, the assertions that she was not there and that a deputy was present.
No, I know. I
don't know where that comes from.
I'll tell you who it came from. It came from her sheriff's office and one of her dispatchers who answered the phone, who I had a lovely conversation with for about 25 minutes. She was very helpful. But said she looked at the after action report, looked at the overall log request, and there was no name attached to it. And she said, I cannot even imagine that the sheriff would be there. That sounds like a deputy's role to support the fire marshal, and I have no idea why she would be there. But at this point, there is actually no record of her being there whatsoever. Then I later found out she was. And Scott, Steve, I wasn't saying you were providing anecdotal evidence. What I'm saying is that there's a lot of people in chat and there's a lot of people who've called in, I've talked to, who are afraid to put this on paper or swear an affidavit to this. And my point is that just with this many discrepancies, there has to be an accounting for this. There has to be somebody who says, you know what, let's put this to rest. Let's run this the right way. Let's do this again. And I hope it happens. I really do. Are you going to be at the appeal?
Unfortunately, I can't be down there, but I will submit. I have already submitted an affidavit, and I will submit an additional email.
Good. I'll be there. I'm interested to find out what happens. I don't get to put a suit on very often, so I get to go and do that now, and I'm really excited. Steve, thanks for calling, brother. I appreciate you.
Okay. Thanks. God bless.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
God bless to you. Scott, this is not what I expected. I didn't expect this to get this fiery, but people are passionate about this, and they've got a reason to. I have to show the last video of Matt, and then I'm going to hand it over to you because I promised you a hard stop at 8 o'clock, and now it's 8:30, and I don't want you to. I know, but I'm like ready to fight. I'm mad. I wasn't mad. I'm mad now.
We've got somebody on the YouTube chat who has been talking too.
I hear there's a lot of people. I mean, chat is on fire. It's on fuego right now. Here is Here is the other video I wanted to show you from Matt Purdy, if I can find it.
Hey, David, do you want to explain why I'm not in a party anymore? You're intentionally ignoring me with a posse, so does anyone want to explain to me why the party is capped at 102 members?
You weren't on the list.
You aren't what? Who determines who's on the list?
Wait, is that the sheriff right there in uniform?
Yeah, and that's...
Wait.
We
Wait.
just met Mr. George Klein.
No. Oh, no. She's in uniform? This is at the event?
This is a different event.
If she was in uniform at that event, she'd be in some
Did anyone
serious trouble.
see, was she in her uniform at that event?
No, she wasn't. She was in plain clothes.
She knows because she'd be breaking the law if she did. Here, let's watch the rest of this.
Hey, David, do you want to explain why I'm not in a party anymore? You're intentionally ignoring me with a posse, so does anyone want to explain to me why the party is capped at 102 members?
You weren't on the list.
You aren't what? Who determines who's on the list?
The mass meeting did.
Yeah, and who makes that determination?
Eric Bartok says, I sent in my online membership renewal 2 weeks before the mass meeting and paid the $50 membership fee. They said they would send me a refund. I have yet to receive it. Folks, do me a favor. Everybody who's listening from Front Royal, please email me this information. It's matt@thedumbshow.com. I happen to have a couple of blue chips and some aces up my sleeves where I can get this thing, if I want to go national, pretty darn easy. I just need to make a phone call and call in a relationship that I've needed to use, and I'm going to. I'm not okay with this. And this is unacceptable. These are small town people who think that they can treat other small town people like elites, and that's not the way it works.
The Kleins remind me of another power couple where their last name starts with a C as well.
It's frustrating.
But I don't think they're that powerful.
No, they're not Clintons. Scott, put a bow on this for me and help me understand. You're an incredibly calm human being. My blood pressure's up, and it hasn't been up in a while. I usually, this is politics. Yeah. I just think that this disenfranchises voters. This disenfranchises our own party from turning up, and you wonder why. This isn't the first time. This has happened in Goshen, or in Ashburn. This has happened in Fairfax. This has happened in Fredericksburg. It happens everywhere.
Yeah.
Help me understand what's next, what you need from us, and how we can support you, because we want to.
Well, it's happening because people think they can get away with it. And that's why we needed to challenge this, because we needed to say, no, we're not going to let you get away with it. We're going to fight it. What can people do? I mean, you've already done so much by shining a light on this, because basically without this platform, where this is all happening within the closed quarters of Warren County politics, and for fellow conservatives to look into it and objectively say, well, wait a second, we're seeing all the same things that the people who are being excluded are seeing, that something stinks, that we need to do a redo, and we need, like, this is the simplest question that in politics, in Republican politics, to answer. Do you have a problem with Democrats voting in Republican Party elections? The answer is yes. Yes, absolutely. I have a major problem with that. This is easy. God bless the Democrats. You're my neighbors. You go do your thing. But when you want to talk about party politics, you go do your thing over in the Democratic Party, and we'll leave us to do our thing in the Republican Party. I mean, that's just the way that it works, and it's kind of a beautiful thing. But when you start trying to play these games, somebody has to stand up and say, no. This is not how it's going to work. This is not going to be how this goes in the future. And to the question of what people can do, this is happening. This is just the tip of the iceberg, or it's the beginning of how things are going to look in Virginia. Now we have open primaries. This is how Democrats who have been marginalized in the rural areas of Virginia are going to gain power throughout the state. Amen. And so the time to focus on national politics to the exclusion of local politics is over. As night follows day, they just proposed a new county budget, $33 million. The proposal was $33 million in increases. And I guess to look reasonable, they cut it down to just $11 million in increases. The last increase that we had was $5 million, and so they're doubling down and going further. And this is at a time record high home prices. Our kids, my daughter's getting married. They can't find a place that they can afford in Warren County. We're getting priced out of the housing market. Oil is going up, and we've got to afford. The town just increased the electricity rate, and so what are we doing here? People are trying to feed their families.
Yeah.
And this is coming to your town. This is why at the end of the month you're having trouble making ends meet. The time to ignore local politics is over for conservatives. You have to get involved.
That's right.
You have to learn who those names are. You need to know who your town councilman is, who your county board of supervisor is. You need to know them by name. You need to develop a relationship with them. You need to make sure that they're hearing from you when something isn't going right. You need to know who your local committee members are.
Yeah.
So how can you help me make sure that this isn't happening throughout the state? Get involved in your local politics. We have our appeal in Fishersville. I mean, if you're in the Fishersville area, or if you're motivated to take a road trip to a beautiful part of the state, you can be there at 7 p.m. In Fishersville on March 31st. The venue is escaping me, but we've got that information. But
I'm going to be there.
The 31st?
Yeah.
You can't be there.
What?
Jessica Lynch is here on 31st.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure this out. What time is it?
Arrogance Center.
You guys are killing me. What time is it going to be?
What time's the appeal?
Oh, it's 7 p.m.
We'll figure it out because I'm not happy. I know Jessica Lynch is she's an A-list celebrity and not a celebrity, but she's a veteran, and I cannot cancel that. I love that lady. But we'll see. I want to show this. This is a video that one of the viewers just sent in. And then we're going to.
You want to know why people don't trust politics anymore?
Just one second.
Because sometimes the circus is.
I didn't have this preloaded, so I've got to do this on the fly. We'll see how good I am in just 2 seconds. All right, that wasn't too bad. So this was just sent in to me. Let me go ahead and.
Not totally full. This entire, every single parking lot full line.
Okay, so this is the event, and they're saying every single parking lot is full.
Line all the way out the door.
Get back here and watch it from the beginning.
Arrogance Center parking lot totally full. This entire, every single parking lot full. Line all the way out the door.
Okay. So here's my little assessment on this whole thing, and I'm just going to say this. In no time has Scott insulted anyone. I think he called David. I said he was cantankerous, and I think he just said he was sharp and poignant and very, very direct, which isn't an insult because I'm direct. In other words, I'm an asshole. In no time has he disparaged anybody. At no time has he pointed fingers. At no time has he laid blame. At no time has he thrown pejoratives or ad hominem attacks. The only people is Klein. You're the one who's sitting here and making insults and saying some pretty rude comments, and so's that other person, Angie. This is where you are demonstrating you're nervous. You're demonstrating that you're trying to hide something. And trust me when I say this, exposure is going to bring you guys out in the light. But it still baffles me. You guys should be all about free and fair elections for county clerk and recorder's office to sheriff to state representatives. And I don't understand. You're just demonstrating that you are not somebody who is just in a simple disagreement because of you're running for political office. It sounds like you're diametrically opposed to Republican and conservative beliefs. And that's terrifying.
You should be in the Republican Party if you're opposed to Republican beliefs.
You just don't sound like it to me. But listen, we'll keep exposing. I invite everybody who was involved in this onto the show. We'll treat you with the utmost respect as long as you do the same. Scott, I want to tell you thank you. I didn't realize I had Jessica Lynch on the 31st, and I wish I could be there for you. What's your best outcome for this?
Oh, that we have a redo, that we call another mass meeting. I think that the possibility is to convene some people from Warren County, but there's another possibility of having the 6th District Republican Committee call the mass meeting. I think that's probably the best way to do this. But enforce the law. It's there in black and white. All you have to do is enforce the rules. But especially to the Democrats participating, it's like,
yeah, it's pretty easy for them to go ahead and throw rocks. But you had a hell of a turnout. You know what I mean?
Mr. Klein would like to know where we are located.
Why? Why do you want to know where I'm located? You have a phone number. Do you like physically my address? Oh, I'm in Round Hill, Virginia. We're what, about 40 minutes away from each other? Is that right? Maybe an hour?
Warren County is Warrenton, right? No, it's Front Royal.
Front Royal, yeah.
Yeah.
40 minutes.
40 minutes. Yeah. I could be wherever you want. Do you want to meet face to face? You can come on the show. Would love to have you. But what I would appreciate it is you could explain your role to us. Who the hell are you? And what authority do you have to stop people from coming in and voting in a free and fair election? On whose authority? You want to attend the show? You're more than welcome anytime you want. Matt at thedumbshow.com. Olivia, this is
Olivia at thedumbshow.com. I'm the one who books the talent.
You can come on the show. Scott,
so email me and I will get you on the show.
Love to have you on the show. But you could also tell us your authority. Why are you there? Why are you turning people away? You've got multiple people. Why are you guys afraid to redo this thing? I think we all know the answer why. Because it was pretty damn close. And for someone who says that, he can't speak English and he can't form sentences together, I think he's articulated himself very, very well. And obviously there's a shit ton of voters inside Front Royal who think that he should have won. I think that election, if you do it again, I think it's going to have a very different result. And that's why you guys are so fearful. Because I promise you, I think a lot of people who are going to show up bigger than last time. Scott, thanks for being on here. Thanks for having the courage to do it, man. We're going to follow your story. We're going to keep talking about it, and we're going to make sure we keep bringing it to the forefront. Folks, I'm going to step away real quick, 3-minute commercial about donations. Donation clock is on. We are going to stay late tonight. This will be an extended show. We're very, very excited to do so. So hang with us, and we will be right back. Don't leave, because the regular show is coming on.
Hi, I'm Olivia Spear, host of The Dumb Show. For 3.5 years, we never asked for donations, but after Facebook demonetized us for speaking the truth, we've had to turn to the one thing big tech can't cancel: you.
I'm Hayden, Matt and Olivia's daughter. This show's never chased sponsors or sold out. We've built something honest, and it's thanks to you.
I'm Ethan, their son. Every share, every dollar, every message, you're the reason we can keep calling out the BS and bringing color back to the world going gray.
If you want to help, we take PayPal, Venmo, or snail mail. You can send it to P.O. Box 2, Round Hill, Virginia 20142.
Can't donate? No problem. Just share the show with someone who needs to hear it.
Thanks for helping us stay loud, proud, and completely uncensored. You can donate at thedumbshow.com/donate.
You know what happens when you turn the dial harder? You can make a harder grimace. The harder you grimace, the more effective it is.
You tighten it so freaking I can't do it. I can't untighten
That's
it.
what she said.
That's what she's... Oof. Coming in with it. Pound it. Pound it. Pound.
Child got 15.
Ethan, you look like a hippie.
Totally tubular.
You know this is recording, right?
Okay, let's go. Smile. Donate. Don't start with me. Donations. Every time you don't smile, I'm going to punch you in the ribs. Donations. Take one. Scene one. Ready. Set. Ethan.
Break.
Ready. Don't screw it up.
Okay.
Ethan, don't mess this up. Ready. Set. Action. No. Whoa. Director calls action, not some stupid toddler.
But we've built something
There's no but there. Why do you've been doing this since you were 2 years old. Try it again.
Just share the show with someone who needs to hear it.
He's so much better than you at everything.
Better at
Hayden, he's just like, even, it's just, Go ahead, Hayden.
Thanks for helping us stay loud, proud, and completely uncensored.
That's a wrap. Well done, Spear family. I bet we make no money.
But I'm gonna owe them money without.
Hayden, do your thing again.
Oh, yeah, cut it.
Baby shark, doo 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 doo.
Well, thanks
Wow.
for we have reset, and yeah, God, I hope. Listen, I don't know Scott hardly at all. We just met.
Yep.
And I hope he's not mad at me.
I don't think he would be mad. This got the word out, and that's what he wanted. He wanted the word out of what happened.
I just don't like bullies. And, George, you come off as a bully, dude.
You really do.
You really do. You just seem like the reason why is we didn't break bread with this guy, but he's in my house and he has been respectful to my kids. He's been respectful to my animals. He's been respectful to my wife. He has demonstrated nothing but courtesy and kindness. And I don't know what personal affront you have. I mean, you can air those grievances if you want. And I don't care if the fire marshal told you to turn people away.
It's not your role.
The fire marshal doesn't get to deputize people. You're under no authority to do so. What are your qualifications to do so? What was your overall, what were the prerequisites? What made you decide to turn some away and not turn others away? And why isn't the sheriff having a proper amount of deputies there for security? This is a crazy time. I'm questioning the operational security of the event. It sounds like you guys had an overabundance of people, plus 500 there. You weren't properly staffed. You didn't handle it properly. And it sounds like Scott takes ownership on that too. It seems like the whole thing was a quagmire. And I wasn't there. I can't pass judgment, but what I can do is listen to the people who've said some things, and they don't like you. They don't like your wife. And as a husband, I'd take an affront to that. If my wife she's loved in this community. They don't like me, but they love her. But your wife is not, they're scared of her. There are people who are physically terrified of your wife that she will cause harm to them or make their lives a living hell. I mean, why are they feeling that way? What is being said behind the scenes to these people that is making them scared of her? Yeah. I mean, that's what I would want to know. Listen, and if it's all smoke and mirrors, then you're right. Let's have another one. I mean, here's the thing. You just pushed back on Scott for an hour and a half, but you just said, let's hold another one. So why hold another one? If it's on the up and up and everything was above brow and you guys did everything to the letter of the law, then why hold another one? That doesn't make any sense to me. So it seems like you're talking out of both sides of your mouth. Mm-hmm. You also were pretty dismissive of Matt Pretty. Purdy. I don't want to call him Pretty. It's Matt Pretty. It doesn't matter. I don't care anymore. Who seemed like a very nice guy to me. And, he might be recording that makes you uncomfortable, or he might try and, do the citizen journalist thing, but he's with a reputable paper. He deserves to have his questions asked. Why didn't anyone simply say, hey, you know what? Let's set up a time and a schedule where we can talk. Here's my business card. But George, I think you should come on the show. I think you should bring your wife on the show too. I mean, why not? Clear your name. Come over here and have some conversations. Well, I'm not going to attack you. I'm not going to sandbag you. I'm not going to do what you did to Scott tonight. I'm just going to have a conversation with you. That's what we always do. But yeah. This totally reminds me 2022. Yep. When it was the statewide primaries for Congress. And it was Brandon Mashon and Hung Cao. And there was like 4 or 5 others. But what they did is before they let you in the building, they made you sign a pledge that said you will vote Republican in all future elections in Loudoun County. Yep. And you had to leave your email. You had to leave everything. And here's the thing. They were telling people that once you signed it, if you voted anything else, your vote was ineligible. But here's the other thing. If you didn't sign us, they turned you away. That's right. And said, you can't vote in this primary unless you sign this. That's correct. They're blackmailing people.
and we wouldn't sign it, and they tried to kick us out.
Yep. So I walked the entire perimeter.
People.
I literally walked the line. I talked to 400 people in line, and I said, "Do not sign anything. You don't have to." We wouldn't
leave the building. We're like, "I'm voting. I'm in here. I refuse to sign this. I'm a registered Republican. I want my vote, and I'm not leaving until I get to vote. And you are more than welcome to call the sheriff or the police, and they can arrest me to get me out of this building.
Yep.
But I'm not leaving till I get to vote." And guess what they did? They let us vote, and they just wanted us out of there.
See, if you're a law-abiding citizen, and George, that's true, that the fire marshal told you to turn people away. First of all, the fire marshal has absolutely no right to do that, because anything that you did in the capacity that broke fire code or broke state or city ordinance puts you in liability, but also that fire marshal.
The fire marshal's never going to do that.
I've
met many
fire marshal may do that, but that's small town bullshit, and it should be called out. The second thing is that you should want to make sure that every single person had a chance to vote. I think this is what happened. This is just me. This is just like, if I'm just writing the story, I'm writing the subscript, right? We're going to do it in front of George's eyes. I think your wife is a political sheriff, and it is a political position. Oh, we're going to pull something up. Eric, I got your email. It's a political position. You run for sheriff. And I've known a lot of sheriffs, and I'm friends with the sheriffs here in Percival. I'm friends with the sheriffs in Round Hill, friends with sheriffs in Leesburg. I was friends with sheriffs in Wyoming. My uncle was a sheriff and SWAT team and detective. I've got a plethora of police friends. And by the way, folks, donations are on. And most assuredly, we are at 0. We have a few in here. If you're ready to turn them on.
Get a few for the
help us out. Let's get them in, because we're going to run a full show right now. And we're going to put this right at 9 o'clock. We're going to turn this off. Check the vehicle that just pulled in.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
But if you're a legitimate sheriff, you should be apolitical. Could you turn the book? It's glowing. Look behind you. And other way. And you have to be careful. Just
gonna set it right there for now.
That's crooked. Come on. It's a woke mind. We got to get it right. So it just comes down to this. You should make sure that the elections are free. They're fair. I think you guys should go down there on that appeal and stand together as Republicans and say, let's get this right. I think you need to put your differences aside. Go there for Scott. He's a good man. He's a patriot. He's a God-fearing man. He loves the community. Whatever grievances you two have, it does not matter. You're Americans. You're patriots. Go there and make sure that the people's voice is heard. And if he loses, so be it. Then David wins, and who cares? But if you don't do that, then there's a problem. That's my recommendation. That's it. I mean, you don't have to listen to me. Who am I? I'm a nobody.
Yep.
But I'll tell you what, I'm a person who's fair. And the way you guys treated him tonight makes me think that you got something to hide. Let's hope he has a good ride home.
Because really only people who act like that have something to hide.
Happy Red Friday. Tamar Bush in with $10. Good. Thank you for getting it started. We appreciate it. We hope you guys liked it. Emails are coming in. Your show tonight with Scott Lloyd was so effing needed. You have no clue the extent of how far some people have gone to expose some really, really bad stuff going down in Warren County. You haven't even broken the ice. We'll be in touch. Please keep my email confidential. I will. I'm not even going to say your name. I appreciate the email. Got another one here. Let me see if this person is protected. Hold on. Oh, they sure are. Attached are screenshots from Facebook Messenger discussing with David Silik a few days after the mass meeting. This is from somebody. I'm not going to give their name. People are starting to come in, and it says, I sent in my WCRC annual membership application and paid $50 fee. I did not receive any message about the meeting that took place last week. Am I still a member of the committee? If not, I want my $50 refunded. Okay, whoops. Okay, we'll get rid of that. Don't worry about it. We have good people on this show. Nobody's going to call you. Let me make sure this one's clean. This one's clean. Okay. Sorry about that. It says, read Article 10 These bylaws may be amended to the 2/3 vote of those who members of the WCRC who are present and voting in the duty called WCR meeting. Providing a copy of such proposed amendments shall be emailed to the WCRC. It says, Mr. Bartok, I'm not going to argue with you about such. The rules of the meeting are what amended the number of membership. It overrides the bylaws. Yeah, it sounds like George is a... There's never been a limit on the number of bylaws. Who voted? Who are the voting members? It says the rules were amended at the mass meeting to only allow for 202 members, and such was done without objection at the mass meeting. Don't know what else to tell you. Scott Lloyd did not and still has not turned in applications. He was in session. I want to know what George's role is. What's George's role? I don't understand this. And is it a conflict of interest? Because it certainly sounds like it is. I don't know. There's some interesting things going on. The bylaws changed that night, if I do remember correctly. But why? I mean, see, this is the thing. It sounds like what you guys did. Did you guys have like an agreement with David Silac, get him elected and he'll approve anything? It sounds like a rubber stamp type thing. You know, it sounds like you guys decided one night to literally change the course of how you run your elections and your voting in your town with absolutely no oversight. Yeah, I think you guys are in some trouble. And I really hope that they get a judge or however you guys are doing this that can hear this.
Yeah.
Data centers, that's also another thing. I mean, what's their position on data centers? Are they being greenlit and are they being funded like by Microsoft and Google? Check their FEC donations. Start investigating, folks. The video was taken close to the speaker, so you can't understand through it. No one could hear Cheryl Cullors when she was reading the rules. Yeah, some people have said that the sound was horrible.
We all thought it was just the rules for the mass meeting, not new rules for the committee.
Yeah, this is dirty. Listen, a lot of people saw this, and we had a whole bunch on Rumble, a whole bunch on Facebook. People are going to replay this. I'm not going to stop talking about this. I don't know everything about this. I mean, I just have a lot of questions about it, and it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. It just seems that a good guy ran and got real close to winning, and it sounds like that made some people really nervous. I mean, the way you guys spoke about him before he ran and saying he didn't have a chance in hell, and the way you've treated him tonight, sounds like you guys are RINOs. And that's an interesting thing because I don't like that word. And I think Republican in name only really pigeonholes people not to be open to changing their mind and not to serve the political party, but serve the best interests of their constituents. So I don't like when people say RINO. I think it's okay when people break party ranks sometimes. I think it's okay for that.
George and Crystal Klein spoke with data centers before her election about bringing them here.
Yeah, it doesn't. She sounds like a Spanberger. She sounds like a Spanberger. She really does. She sounds like somebody who came in wolf in sheep's clothing. All George had to do was call in. Well, yeah, he's not going to show up. You think he's going to show up here? He's not going to show up here. He should, though. But yeah, bring your wife. We'll cook you guys dinner. We'll have a couple whiskeys. We'll have a good time. We'll talk. But I don't think you guys have the moxie. I don't think you're willing to handle questions.
No, he doesn't sound like he can handle questions. Otherwise, he would have called in.
Yeah. Well, it is what it is, folks. I hope you enjoyed it. That was a big one for us, and we were really happy that we had to do it. We prepared a lot for it. Kimberly Jergmeyer donated $20. Apologies for calling George a bad name in chat. Happy Friday. I think George deserved it. He was calling Scott bad names. He deserved to be called a bad name or two. Let's get to it. It's 9 o'clock. We're going to be here for at least another hour. This might be a late Friday night, folks. Donations would be much appreciated. Let's get them started. First video of tonight is the transgender lawyer who went wacko. You said there was a follow-up with this story? What happened?
I did put it in bookmarks. So apparently...
Tell me, what happened? I don't know. It's crazy.
After the follow-up of this, she closed her law firm down.
She or he?
It's biological female. Masquerading as a male.
Oh, don't confuse me. It's a chick that wants to be a guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
it's so much easier.
Yeah, the law firm has officially closed because it was failing anyway. And I don't know if she's in jail or whatnot. But
let's find out, because this is crazy. This is 5 minutes of just pure cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Watch this.
I pointed you to the exact paragraph. Stop. It's her education. Stop because you don't want to hear.
Okay, so let me make sure I understand this. The person above in the yellow is the female, and the guy below is not a guy. It's the female.
It's the female masquerading as the guy.
Do you remember Joey from Apple, who wore the funny glasses, who worked at Albuquerque? I can't remember his last name. Do you remember? Can you remember? You can't remember. He looks just like him. I swear to God, I'm flipping out. But he was actually a guy. Here it is.
Oh, stop! You interrupt me one more time, you are being held in direct
Is that the judge?
Yes. And you can wipe that smirk off.
I don't have a
your
smirk on my face.
Oh, yes, you do.
I do not.
I am not going to tolerate this from you, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Fill out the request, get the form from our court clerk's office on the second floor, make sure it comports with what you've brought already, get it filed, mailed in, whatever you need to do. Let us assess her request. If it's...
My client's not seen her child. There is no order in this court, and there's been no jurisdiction found that this court has jurisdiction over this child who has never lived in your county. Never lived.
I don't think I've said that.
There was a cause.
I don't think I've said this.
I wasn't done with my arguments.
And I was not done with
I don't think I've said this, but she looks better as a guy. I'm sorry. It looks better as a guy. I couldn't even tell. I'm hearing her talk like she basically sucked down an entire bottle of helium, but yeah.
Statement. You interrupted again. Do not throw your...
I did not throw. It fell off the bench. Please stop stating things that are not true, ma'am.
Sir, you've got a room full of witnesses.
I do. I put it down. I did. I put it down and it fell down. I did not fall.
Then settle down.
I'm not upset and I'm not arguing. You're not letting me make an argument. I'm not red in the face, ma'am. I'm not.
Stop. Our court reporter cannot get what we're both saying.
I am trying to make my argument. You interrupted my argument halfway through on an objection.
That will get every available deputy in
Yes, ma'am, I'm aware. It's happened to me before.
It has.
Yes.
Because you're out of line.
Yeah,
Of course.
I guess so.
Okay. If I push that
Or maybe
button-
because I'm a transgender attorney practicing all over the state.
Oh, here we go.
You do, ma'am. It's
Here
not
we
that
go.
I don't know whether
You do,
you're
ma'am. You
transgender,
do. You
other
do.
than you have just now
No,
advised me,
ma'am,
and
you
that
do.
doesn't have
You
anything
do.
to do
It's happened
with
when we
anything.
talked on the phone.
That wasn't talking, let me tell you. You were entirely inappropriate.
You were yelling
More
at
so
me, and I
than-
did not even know you were the judge.
And I didn't know you from Adam.
I said,
At
my
that
name
point.
is Rob Hopkins. I'm
Which
an
doesn't
attorney
mean
in
anything.
Oklahoma City.
No, sir, you did not.
Okay.
Okay?
There's no one there to know that, right?
Okay, so we
Oh,
are pausing
I
this
need yogurt.
until you get the ADA request form filled out and it gets processed.
So we're going to pause the hearing on jurisdiction that's been set twice. I drove an hour and a half to have the hearing. My client's available telephonically.
Dude, the guy on the right is just like, dude, I'm so done.
Oh, stop you, bitch.
I'm so done.
That's what it sounds like.
He's just like, dude, I'm out. I so need a vacation.
And we are simply not even taking testimony.
Is your client available telephonically?
Yes, ma'am.
today?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, then get her on the phone.
Thank you. Get out of my face, sir. Yes, ma'am. Children say.
Telephonically
Yes, ma'am.
today?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, then get her on the phone.
Thank you.
Your Honor, to which we would object. This is as clear as the nose on my face that this woman will not appear before this court because she has a warrant for stealing
Objection, you're saying that's not true. And you're ready to
find, sir.
Don't put at me, it's over me. Or shout at me.
I'm not putting it on. No, we're stopping.
Get out of my face, sir. Get out of my face, sir.
You may step
Get out of my face.
You should leave this county.
Get out of my face. Get out of my face.
These people, my friend, you're being ugly.
And get out of my face. Why?
Because you're in direct contempt of court. and I
He
think
shouted at me. No, I'm not being. You did not even say that I was in
You are
contempt.
in direct.
No, I'm not
Judge,
doing
I
my stuff.
apologize, but I felt very threatened by this person.
No,
Not getting
it's
screaming and yelling in court. I've never even heard that before in this courtroom.
Do
here it
not
comes.
hurt me. Do not hurt me.
I want to be a
Do
man.
not. You're throwing me over.
I want to be a man.
I'm not resisting.
Okay, put your hands behind your back, stop resisting.
You know
Not
exactly what's happening.
resisting.
I can't walk. I'm being thrown down.
I want to be a
Settle
man.
down. Do not grab me. Do not grab me.
Oh, yeah, you're not resisting, are you?
What are you doing? You're hurting me. You're hurting me. You're resisting me.
God.
You're just I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
Pulling a George
I can't breathe.
This
Pulling a
reminds
George Floyd.
I think this is the way George Klein would react if he came on my show. I just think so.
Put your hand behind your back. I cannot breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
Totally stable. Totally stable.
Somebody call 911. Please.
You should have someone call 911 to the freaking courthouse.
Somebody call a man. This is forced doctrine. I need a man to help protect me.
Ow! 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 Ow!
See, in order for the vocal cords to go ahead and pronounce some sort of audio and some frequency between the 20 megahertz to 200 megahertz range, which is called the auditory range or the middle channel of sound, you need to have air reverberating against your vocal cords to make this beautiful sound that we see, which means that I need to exhale and inhale in a rhythmic pattern. You can't talk if you can't breathe. That's the way this works. I hope they tase her. Maria says, oh, good Lord, she should man up.
Somebody call 911.
911's already there.
It sounds like she's enjoying this a little too much. Must be fantasy. The way she's breathing. The way she's breathing right there.
Get a female officer now. Get a female officer now. There aren't any.
Get a female officer?
I can't get up. I can't see. He just threw my glasses. I can't see. Give me my glasses. Put them on my face. No.
Did he ask for I'm so confused.
Get a female officer now. I thought you were a man, and
oh God,
that's the best thing I've heard all night. Oh, I love it. That just makes me that just makes my night.
This is great.
Please give me my glasses. I can't.
Are we sure this isn't a video from Front Royal and this is how they treated the voters? I wonder.
I'm not trying to walk and I cannot see. I need my wallet.
Thanks, Robert.
Wow.
You know what?
No, I don't, but you're going to tell me. Go ahead.
The first part of the video where she is yelling at the judge totally reminds me of trying to argue with Hayden. It's like arguing with a hormonal 16-year-old girl.
Yeah, you need to put
Holy
that in.
cow! Yeah,
you got to roll them in because if you don't keep rolling them, they're going to just stall. Thomas Austin, $21.10. Thank God, we need it, folks. We're going to be on till like 10:30, so we gotta make up. It was such a good show, we forgot to do donations. So Tommy, thank you for helping out. We are way behind, but that's okay. We got a whole bunch of show for you. Tiger Woods is in some
no.
Yeah, again, here it is. Oh, what's that? We got another email.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, let me look.
He's on the school board. No wonder. There's got to be something there. I see it coming.
George Klein is on the school board. Oh, George. Oh, George. Oh, George. We're going to look into Mr. Klein.
Yes, we are.
Was he in construction? Is that what his shirt said?
It said Klein Construction, yes.
You're in construction. Your wife's the sheriff. You have meetings with data centers and you're a part of the school board. Bro, you're so cooked. You're so cooked. You know what? That's interesting. All right, we got to move on because we got to make goal.
Yes.
Tiger Woods is in some. You go ahead and hit this one.
JD Stillwell, happy Red Friday. Love the investigative stuff.
Thank you, JD Stillwell. We appreciate it. God, I hope Scott had a good time. I hope he's not like, I can't believe we went on that show. I get so worried because like, I wasn't trying to go too hard, but I got frustrated. I mean, I'm not mad. I'm frustrated. I can't stand bullies. I can't stand the corruption. Tiger Woods is in some hot water yet again.
UI investigators came to the scene here, and Mr. Woods did exemplify signs of impairment. They did several tests on him. Of course, he did explain the injuries and the surgeries that he had. We did take that into account. But they did do some in-depth roadside tests. And when it was determined, he was placed under arrest and taken to the Martin County Jail. At the Martin County Jail, and even on scene, we really weren't suspicious of alcohol being involved in this case, and that proved to be true at the jail. So Mr. Woods did a breathalyzer test, blew triple zeros, but when it came time for us to ask for a urinalysis test, he refused, and so he's been charged with DUI, with property damage, and refusal to submit to a lawful test.
Well, someone who speaks from experience, and I've never shied away from it. Substance abuse when it comes to opioids they're a bitch. And we were talking at the dinner table with Olivia and the kids, and I've never shied away from my habitual addiction, and it's hard. But I can honestly say, occasionally I'll be sitting here and I'll reach for my vape or a cigarette, and cigarette I don't want. Ugh, they're gross now. But my vape for sure, and I'll want to, have it. And then I go, no, I don't want it. But I don't have any need. And this shows me that it was more habitual than the mental addiction, even though I did absolutely feel that I had a physical dependency and a mental dependency on opioids. But I don't want them anymore. I really don't. And you can ask Olivia, getting me to take an Advil is like pulling teeth.
Yes.
So I listen, back in 2021, when he rolled his SUV, I felt for the man. I prayed for the man. And no, I did not pray for the man. That's a lie. That's not true. I wasn't spiritual that way. And I'll pray for him now though. But honestly, dude, I don't have a lot of sympathy. Like, you've got everything you want in life, and you've done some really shitty things with gambling and the way you've treated your spouses. And I'm not here to judge you. But it's hard for me to have a lot of love for you, considering how you've treated people and yourself. And you could have killed somebody, and you're lucky you didn't. And hopefully he gets the help that he needs. In my eyes, he needs to leave the limelight, leave golf. It's time to retire. It's time to put yourself into rehab and find people around you who support you and make you feel like you don't need those things. And that is why I am high on my wife. I am high on my kids, my animals, my job. And I love what I do, and I don't need that stuff anymore. So it sucks. You know what I mean?
Sucks for him.
Yeah. The thing is that the judge is going to order a urinalysis or a blood test. He's going to have to comply, and it's going to be in his system for Oxy doesn't leave your system for a while. Robert Petrovsky donated $17.76. This is BS, isn't it, dude? I mean, isn't it just crap? And I feel dirty. Like I honestly, I'm not exaggerating. I'm not like blowing this out of proportion. When I started this, I'm like, this is going to be a good conversation with Scott, and we're going to just hear his opinion. When everyone started calling in, I got mad. Because like I told you, I've had 7 people reach out to me. And then tonight we had 4 or 5 phone calls, 3 or 4 we couldn't even get to.
And we had several people in chat talking too.
We couldn't even get to everybody because it got so busy. There's a lot of people who are mad. There's a lot of people who's scared. Multiple people said they were scared. It's crazy.
Yeah, a couple people in the chat said yes, they're scared of retaliation from the sheriff.
Baby Brims.
Baby Brims is a new one.
It's a new donor. Thank you so much. Wonderful. Baby Brims, donate $20. Thank you for doing that. How effed up are you to roll your ride in the residential area? Right. You know what I mean? Right.
Exactly.
Got another one coming in real quick. And this is great, guys. We appreciate it. We like making up lost time. We've already been on for 2 hours. We're going to be on for 3.5 tonight. That's just the way it's going to be. Huge Anonymous donated $50. Thank you, Anon. Great convo with Scott tonight. You guys are rocking. We appreciate it. Thank you so much for helping us out. Candace Owens. She hates Erica Kirk. And she doesn't hate Erica Kirk because she's like something different. She's white. She's religious. She's rich. She hates Candace because she wanted to be Mrs. Kirk. And she wasn't.
Hates Erica because she wanted to be Mrs. Kirk.
I want you to watch her face, and just the maniacal glee and just the sadistic nature. Guys, 6 months ago, a little over 6 months, 200 days, Charlie Kirk was taken from us and was murdered, assassinated by a cold-blooded killer. And Candace Owens is gleefully, manically enjoying people mocking Erica Kirk. Watch her face. This is the sickest I've ever seen this woman. Here it is.
Here is Drewski mocking conservative women, namely Erica Kirk.
Get on your feet, boy!
War is raging in Iran.
We're praying for all the soldiers and troops.
That's great that you're praying, but
how about all the kids that died when the USA hit the towers?
It broke my heart. That is the
In what ways have you grown closer to Jesus?
I serve a righteous God. And that is why we say our prayers. And we are all his children. But when I say children, I mean like the holy, blessed Trinity, which is why I hold the Bible. We have to protect all men in America, especially all white men in America.
So good.
Those are the boys that we care about in this country. America is built on their backs. Yes. Because they are the ones who matter most.
Okay.
They are both disgusting.
She's so fake.
Oh,
I mean, like, I hate to say it. It's hard to find someone faker than Erica. Sometimes
Candace.
No, Erica. Erica
Okay.
comes off as fake sometimes. I'm not going to lie. She's not meant for this position. She's not. She's not that person. She's not meant for the limelight. She is a mom. She was a wife. She supported behind the scenes. She was not meant to be thrusted into this. This wasn't the plan. It is what it is, and she's doing the best that she can. And
Just
she's
let the woman grieve. in
just
peace.
no shit. Like, it's like, I'm not going to sit here and say she comes off as fake. I didn't say she was fake because she's not rehearsed. She's not practiced. Scott's a perfect example. Scott is a very articulate, kind, loving human being, but he's not just a braggadocious,
He's not a bulldog.
arrogant. Yeah, he's not a jerk. The perfect dichotomy of two lawyers. You got one lawyer who is just completely just a knife and will cut anyone. And Scott just seems to be a kind, caring human being who probably would give somebody, 50% off of a big case because they couldn't afford it. Or he would take an apple pie in order to represent somebody. That's what he seems like to me.
I think getting them all mixed up. Candace has some issues with Erica also being Christian. Because I saw a video of Candace today. I bookmarked it. I don't know if it's up here tonight.
It's probably not.
Mocking Christian women.
She
And
just
saying
mocked Christians right there.
That Christian women stop telling people that you'll pray for them. Stop mentioning God when you talk. Why do Christian women have to mention God so many times? I thought you were a Christian woman, Candace.
She pretends to be a
She is
Catholic.
one of the fakest people I've ever seen in my entire life. I mean, I looked up to this woman back in 2015. Holy cow, was I ever wrong.
Mrs. says it right. This is a really great statement. Objectively, which is always great to be objective. Even if it wasn't repugnant and demeaning, it wasn't even funny. Candace laughing like that is disingenuous, but that doesn't surprise anyone. Totally. Mr. Sauce says Candace is geeking, tweaking because Erica doesn't have Charlie anymore. Pure devil mentality. It does remind me of a person who, it's Freudenshroud. I mean, that's what it is. It's Freudenshroud to the nth degree. German word for reveling in other people's misery. That's what Freudenshroud is. And that's exactly what she's doing. She's enjoying Erica Kirk being uncomfortable because she hates her. She hates her. It's horrible. Yeah.
It is.
Freudenshroud. Everyone learned something today.
Completely wrong.
Yeah, horrible. Oil in California. Oh, call it out, babe.
Debbie Boggs, great guest as always. United We Stand, 1776. I always love your donations, Debbie. The 1776 is awesome.
So do I. I agree. Debbie, thank you so much. We love you.
You know, July 4th, if we actually do a show, I think every donation should be 1776, in my opinion.
Actually,
it's
I think
250 years.
I think it should be 250.
Oh, that would be awesome.
250 each.
I'm down with that.
Yeah. So we're going to need 100 donations at 250 so we can take off for the year. Would that be a year? No, it would not be a year. No, not we'll take off for a month. 2 months. God, I wish we did that a year. A month. Oil in California. We've been talking about this. I told you guys I grew up, whether it was Pismo, Carpinteria, Jersey, South Jetty, Ventura Beach, Pierpont, Dog Beach, Silver Strand, doesn't matter wherever. We surfed all up and down. We always had oil rigs off the coast. There was the Carpinteria Islands, and you saw Coronado Island in San Diego, and you saw that there were oil platforms out there, and they were pumping oil. And occasionally you would look at your board, and you would look at your wetsuit, and you look at your fins, and if you were boogie boarding, and you would have oil on them, and that was just kind of the thing. And you would go out there and you would pour gasoline on your flippers. And that's what you would clean. The oil would come right off. And Grandma would come out there, and she'd have a gallon of gasoline in the back of her Volkswagen Bug and bring it out and put out your flippers and put gasoline, and then you would rub sand on them and take the oil right off, and then you go and dunk them in the ocean and come back and you're done.
Really?
Yeah. You do it on your feet. You do it on your wetsuit, and gasoline. It takes the oil right off. Now, I don't know if that was safe or not, but that's what we used to do.
And strike a match.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Oil in California. Here it is.
Welcome to the platform Harmony. It's one of the 3 rigs owned by Sable, and it's where the whole process begins. Oil flows up from the well, and it's pumped to shore. This field is home to more than 600 million barrels of oil trapped for 11 years. It's home to the biggest oil reserve remaining on federal lands, this field. The crude oil then goes from this platform through the pipeline to the Las Flores Canyon processing plant. Jay Caldwell Flores, the chief operating officer and president of Sable, took us through the process. What are we looking at exactly here?
We're walking through the Las Flores Canyon pipeline station. So this is where we ship 60,000 barrels of oil a day through that pump there into the...
Wait. How many?
60,000 barrels a day of processed crude going down to El Segundo refinery that's owned by Chevron.
When's the last time El Segundo refinery had that much oil running through it?
It has a good number of couple 100,000 barrels, but this is a significant portion, and they have not.
Donation, Brenda Shepard. I charged my daughter $12 for a cup of my coffee I got in the mail today. It's great. Thank you for the 12. Appreciate you, Brenda. Love you.
Had our crude in over 11 years.
So your crude hasn't gone through because of all the litigation.
Correct.
And everything else.
Yes.
In 2024, Sable purchased ExxonMobil's Santa Barbara offshore assets in an effort to restart the Santa Ynez pipeline. It was shut down in 2015 due to the Refugio oil spill. How many employees here making all this happen?
Oh, a couple hundred. So about almost 300 employees on site.
How many during the 11-year hiatus?
40. And they were in a stasis, almost Stockholm Syndrome, PTSD of this will never happen. Tears flowed the days we opened the pipeline.
People were crying because they were so happy that they actually had jobs again.
They had jobs, they had careers, longevity to look forward to, and they've been sitting in stasis for 11 years.
California was once an energy powerhouse, dominant in oil production. Back in 1985, California was producing 1.1 million barrels of oil every day.
Wow.
It was fulfilling 60% of its own oil supply. But by 2020, that had dropped down to a paltry 25%. Now, California mostly relies on foreign oil that's imported via ship. It only gets 16% of its oil from Alaska. So what happened?
One word.
Newsom.
Democrats. It's Democrats. Of course they did. They said it was because it was an eyesore. Then they realized that removing these platforms would cost 10 times more than it was to build them. So they just left them out there. And instead of the celebrities allowing them to continue to do this and build, they just left them out there unmanned. It's a waste of money. Just pump the damn oil. Who gives a crap?
Exactly.
Go ahead. Mr. Hollandaise sauce. Maddie Howie. 3838. Appreciate you, my friend. We love you.
Thank you.
Can't believe 3838. I don't know what the 3838 represents.
It's because he wanted an even number.
Oh,
and it
that's
gets
right.
us up to an even number. It's anytime there's a specific cent on his thing.
Thank you, Maddie.
Amount of cents. It's because he wants the even number.
We appreciate you. Moving forward. Let's see. Benny and the vice president. I was happy to see this. You know, listen, I've given Benny a hard time. And I still think he's a clickbaiter, but he really has transcended himself. He's one of the guys that I've watched grow. And, you know, he was hit with plagiarism and he stole from content creators and didn't give them credit, but he's been much better. And over the last 2 years, I've seen a change in him. I really have. I think having kids, having his wife, finding God has really helped Benny be a better person. And he deserves his success. And I'm very proud of him. I really am. And if I ever met him, I'd tell him that. He still exaggerates. He still does clickbait. But this is amazing. You get to sit across the vice president of the United States. You get to sit across the president. Enjoy your success, dude. You've earned it. Here it is.
About Ilhan Omar and Tim Walz.
Exactly.
And obviously, Ilhan Omar, the president and the White House have been out saying that she married her brother, that there is immigration fraud going on.
Sorry. Lord's name in vain. Matt, do you even know me? I did. I just didn't understand. Okay, leave me alone.
About Ilhan Omar and Tim Walz.
Exactly.
And obviously, Ilhan Omar, the president and the White House have been out saying that she married her brother, that there is immigration fraud going on here. These are deportable denaturalization offenses.
Benny,
can you give us an update on that?
I am going to say you using a curler. I know it's trendy right now. I know it's trendy to use the dry powder and to use the curler to get that hair. I want to let you know is that I don't use a curler and my wave and curl are completely natural. My wife will tell you 100% natural hair. I'm letting it grow out. As you see, this is the longest my hair has been in a long time. And I'm letting it grow out and I don't have to use a curler at 52. Just say, sorry, Benny, I have to win at something. You jerk.
Investigator, how do you actually do the thing? How do you build the case necessary to get some justice for the American people? There's a related issue, Benny, which is she has been at the center of a lot of the worst fraudsters in the Somalian community. So do I know that Ilhan Omar was aware that the Quality Leering Center was defrauding the American people? I'm not certain of it, but we at least need to investigate it, because if people can commit wrongdoing without even the fear that they're going to be found out, that's a fundamental problem. So I'm worried about the immigration fraud. I'm also worried about what did Ilhan Omar know about what was happening in the Somali community, and why was nobody looking into it until, frankly, Donald Trump came along?
Everyone sees the hair I'm talking about.
Oh, gotcha. Oh my gosh, he did curl it, didn't he?
Yeah, what he does is he puts a curler and then you snap it and then you put the powder in and then you mess it, and he forgot to mess it.
Yeah, it looks way too...
It's too curly, bro. It looks good. You have great hair, dude. Just embrace your hair. Come on.
Look better, however you used to have it messy.
I can't believe I'm rating another man's hair. Yeah. Maybe I'm the problem. Representative Waugh on the Senate. Hey, sincerely though, it's great, dude, to be able to sit there and interview the vice president. I think that's awesome. I really do. I think it's cool. I used to get a little jelly of Benny because I was like, how can this guy get as many hits? A lot of it's bots, but you've earned it, dude. You got an office at the White House now. You're well respected. You're well trusted. So I got to tip my hat when I got to tip my hat. I'm tipping my hat. There it is.
I think isn't it Roy, Representative Roy? It's not hockey.
I know. I was making a joke.
Okay.
Seeing if anyone would catch it.
Actually,
I know. That's why I love you. Representative Roy on the Senate. And there's a lot of people pissed off at the Senate right now. I mean, it's crazy. Watch this.
I just want to add, it is absolutely offensive to the people that we represent that the Senate would send over a bill that doesn't fund Border Patrol and the core components of ICE, particularly what the chairman's talking about with respect to stopping child trafficking. It's absurd. And the fact that they would expect us to take that up and pass it today as they leave town, I mean, could the Senate be any more lazy than to send to us a bill that doesn't do the job and then leave town? So we're going to stand up and say no to that. We're going to send back a bill that's responsible so that the American people can get behind us for wanting to secure the United States of America, defend the people, and do what we said we would do, and send it back over to the Senate.
Congratulations, Republicans. You had a situation where the Democrats locked down the government. You've got that on your side. And then the Senate sends a shit bill to the House. And what happens? You guys wind up kicking it back, which makes you look stupid. I told you this, and I will say it again. This is a soft coup on Trump. This is purposeful. The Senate hates Trump, and they will convict him. If we put in a Senate and a House, mark my words, they will impeach him, he will be convicted, and they will remove him. If we don't win, that is going to happen. You get to see it right here. They all put a shit bill, left ICE out of it, left the border out of it, did not fund those things because the Democrats walked it back. They left town and let it hang with the House. If you have any doubt that these guys are going to cook Trump as soon as they can. What's up?
Oh, it's fine.
Oh, it's fine. He's gone.
He's gone.
Then
Thank
this
you,
right here shows it to you. Here is John Thune leaving town.
How you feeling? Resolved?
What's that?
Are you thinking everything's resolved, working out well? The House is going to do their job?
Well, we'll see. We made some temporary headway, but we got a lot of work to do still.
Coward. Steve Scalise goes and cooks. Olivia's putting in donations real quick, but watch this. Here's Scalise. He goes scorched earth on the Democrats.
I think this is an important quote that everybody should listen to right now. This is Hakeem Jeffries, and I quote, "We are here today to do a single job, and that should be to fund fully the Department of Homeland Security.
I was actually going to love you.
Anything else is an abdication of our responsibility. Anything else is an act of legislative malpractice. We're playing political games at a time when the safety and the security of the American people is being threatened." Close quote. That's Hakeem Jeffries, Madam Speaker. Unfortunately, that was Hakeem Jeffries from February of 2015. What happened to that Hakeem Jeffries?
Pretty clear as day. I hate to say it, folks, but I feel like I'm a man without a party. I feel like I'm Caesar. I'm a man without a country. And there's just people behind the curtain with daggers ready to go ahead and do the final act of the play. And Republicans are feckless. They're cowards. They don't do anything. They're useless. And we've been betrayed from within. Donald Trump brought all of these people. You know what? If I was Donald Trump, I would just, dude, don't even canvass for these people. Don't even rally for them. Just let them swing. Let them swing. Lose the House, lose the Senate. Let them do, and just go enjoy your family, enjoy your grandkids, enjoy your life. You've earned it. You have a golden parachute for life. You've done everything. You were the best damn president we've had in generations, but you've done enough. But they're going to crucify this man. They're going to come after him again, and they're going to do it until he's dead. And I'm just done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm just done. Just let the man, let somebody else take up the reins. But I'm telling you, the biggest betrayal you will ever see is about to happen to Donald Trump after these midterms. And you will see the Senate, they're going to cook him. They're going to cook him, and they're going to serve him, and they're going to, whatever the House passes, Senate is going to confirm. It doesn't matter whether they have a majority or not. I guarantee you those Republicans will jump ship. And they're going to do it so they can keep their fucking seats. And they're going to, like Julius Caesar, they're going to stab him in the back, and they're going to destroy MAGA. It's what they want. This is it, folks. I'm telling you. They did it to him in 16 and 17. He had a full House. He had full Senate. They didn't pass one piece of legislation for him. They stuck him with a pork barrel. $1.9 trillion to pass his defense budget. They did it with COVID. Took the election and stole it from him. And yes, it is stolen. I don't care how. It's an unconstitutional election. It doesn't matter. At this point, fuck it. It's stolen. It's stolen because they did not follow the will of the people. And in 2024, him getting reelected, it demonstrates. It doesn't matter whether it's a technicality. It doesn't matter if there was no precedent. They went after and they usurped the power from the people. Whether you believe that or not, I don't give a shit because the evidence is there. The numbers are there. They used mail-in ballots to manipulate it. We know, we see it. We know that just like Russian collusion, just like everything else that they've done to this guy, this is just like what happened to Scott. If he wasn't right, they wouldn't try to take him out this way. They would let the electorate take him out because the electorate will do it. The electorate put him back in office. The only way they know how to handle this man is to destroy him. That's all they want.
Yep.
They want to destroy him. Go ahead and put that in. We need all we can get.
Did it not go in?
Nope, we're short.
Okay.
Tommy Cawthon in with $10.10. Appreciate it. Wireless caller from the 805.
Daughter's weddings are expensive, but here's my last time at the moment. You'll find out when Hayden gets here. Ironically, Hayden and I actually just had a conversation the other day about her wedding, and she doesn't want a big wedding. She wants a very, very tiny one.
Yep. All right, go ahead and mute your phone, caller. Caller, you got to mute your phone. Go ahead and mute your phone, and we'll get you on the show. All right, where are you from? What do you want to talk about?
Hi, Matt. It's Chuck.
Hey, Chucky, 805. I knew it was you. What's going on in California?
Not much, but I just, I want to talk about what you're speaking to right now. And one thing that I'm proud to see you say is the election. Are you hearing me?
I'm hearing you fine, but don't say I said it was stolen. It's unconstitutional, but you get my point, what I'm trying to say. Come on.
Okay. Fair enough. And then I also agree that there are a majority of Senate people who are not in alignment with Trump's agenda, and whether they're RINOs or whatever, it doesn't matter. I agree with you that he will likely be brought to democratic, quote unquote, justice.
Yeah.
At some point. So what does he do? At that point, would he go to a country that doesn't have an extradition?
No, because they won't sentence him. They'll just remove him. They won't do a sentence.
Well,
they won't put him in jail.
They'll do it after he's done. After his
no,
term.
they're going to do it.
Think?
They'll do it now. No. This is what they'll do. They're going to take the primary. And they're going to take him in the midterms, and they're going to take the House. They take the Senate. This is just, there's been 2 times in U.S. history that the incumbent president has taken the House and the Senate and retained power. There's 4 times in U.S. history that he's won one of them. The odds of him winning are 0. Like, I don't want to hurt anybody, but unless we have a turnout like 2024, which has never happened ever. And we've already lost 16 toss-up elections and special elections in the last year and a half. 16 have went to Democrats. They're 16-0. So the bellwether and the weatherbane is telling us that we have an incredible headwind, and the chances of us winning, especially losing Virginia, I mean, it doesn't look good right now, Chuck. But they will remove him and impeach him. On day 1, articles of impeachment will come in. They will nuke the filibuster, and they will codify all of the current executive orders, pass the legislation and reverse every executive order that he has, and start passing legislation that puts Washington, D.C., Puerto Rico as U.S. states, no longer territories. They will pack the courts, the Supreme Court, and take the lifetime court. They will reverse Roe v. Wade. They will codify it. All of this will literally take place within a 2-year period of time, and they are going to go full batshit. And we know this because they tried it with Kristen Sinema and Joe Manchin were the only 2 things that stopped them from doing it. They had 58 votes. They almost had it by nuking the filibuster. This is what they will do on day 1. They're not going to wait, bro. They can't.
Well, okay, so I have 2 comments to that.
Yeah.
One,
my hair looks good.
I mean, why don't is it time to just nuke the filibuster and scorch the earth?
Yes, now, today,
before
right
the
now.
midterm?
Yes. And you know what? It takes 6 votes. It takes 6 votes in the Senate to call a vote of no confidence on Thune, Cornyn, and get these guys out. Remove them and get new leadership who will do something right now. Mike Johnson is pissed. He's ready to go to war. He's ready to literally start slaying fools. You got the Senate, which is holding us back, and you have got to have a vote of no confidence. You got a Mitch McConnell supporter there who is going to do everything he can to fuck Trump over.
I think he is on the Joe Biden auto pen parallel road, in my opinion, of McConnell.
Yeah.
Okay, and so my second point is, and I speak to the audience, the Republicans, the people who have always endorsed this country, have been called the silent giant.
Yep.
And that goes back to, I believe, World War II.
Yep. Silent
and
majority,
the
silent
Japanese
giant.
definition of it. And that's because we sit there on our laurels until we get really pissed off. And the thing that typically changes that position is something frontal and something obvious. And this is happening chip by chip, hammer against rock. And it is time for Republicans across this fucking nation to realize that they need to be just as boisterous as the Democratic Party, just as tactical as the Democratic Party. We need to stand up as well. That's my opinion, Matt.
Can I tell you what's been happening? And I'm going to tell everyone right now. I'm going to connect the dots for everybody. And there will be investigations on this. There will be books written about this, and you're going to find out about this. I guarantee you the people, Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, Nick Fuentes, Megyn Kelly, the Hodge twins, I guarantee you this, and listen to me good right now. They are getting money from direct opposition of Donald Trump. The quote about people getting 7,000 schmeckles, the Democrat Party, Muslims, because this is what it is. It's the socialist progressives, which is communism, and the Muslims are the two biggest dangers to this country as far as ideologies, and they have been for the last 47 years plus. And they are funding these people and giving them oodles amount of money to change their positions. And they are circumventing and undercutting Trump and splitting the youth movement that he gained. It's the only way the Democrats can win. They have to have the youth movement. And the youth movement is now so disenfranchised because of the anti-Israel sentiment that they are going to go vote for Democrats just to oppose the Republicans. Everything that you want to look at who killed Charlie Kirk, you want to know who it is? It's the Democrat movement. And this guy, Tyler Robinson, they knew who to kill. They had to kill Charlie. If you didn't kill Charlie because he held the entire youth in his hand, and they fucking murdered him for it.
He turned it around.
I know.
I mean, he brought back conservatism in colleges, and that is the message that they wanted to stop. I agree with that.
It's all about money, man.
So,
money, power, votes. I've said it for 5.5 years. It's always about money, power, and votes.
Well,
and I'm not saying Democrats killed Charlie. I'm saying that the transgender progressive movement, these people, these nutters, these people who are militarized, these people who are now literally activists to a point of being militarized, these zealots knew to kill Charlie. They knew it. This is the person you kill. And then what you do is a leaderless movement is going to be vulnerable, and that vacuum is going to be sucked up. There is no coincidence that Megyn, Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, Nick Fuentes, Stu Peters, the Hodge twins, all of a sudden, and now even a little bit, Joe Rogan just literally turned on Israel and turned on the conservative movement all at the same time within a year and a half. Bullshit. That is an advertising push. That is what a psyop is. You guys keep talking about psyops. That's the psyop.
I totally agree. And unfortunately, our history has a long-term evidence of silencing voices, negative voices that go against what you want to call it, corporate, global, elitist agendas, and even Trump, right? they try to assassinate him.
Yep, twice,
And
3 times
you
now.
can call that a lone shooter, or you can call that a conspiracy theory. It depends on how you want to weigh.
They know that. Listen, they knew where to hit the conservative movement. They knew where to hit it. They knew to kill John Kennedy. They knew to kill Martin Luther King. They knew to kill Malcolm X. They knew to kill John Lennon. John Lennon's a fucking communist, but John Lennon did one thing. He made people think.
Yep.
They're going to kill anyone who makes them think.
Yep. And I think Steve, who was on your show earlier today, it's another example of how politics is not a choice of party anymore. It's a choice of alliance.
Yep.
With
Chuck,
government.
you're right. And I'm sorry about my language, but I'm not black pilling. I'm saying that we have to openly watch these next 2 videos. I'm going to put on Josh Hammer from CPAC. I'm going to stay late. Liv, if you're too tired, we're going to keep going because this is important tonight. I know we're not hitting goal. I don't care. We're getting people who are emailing us thanking this show for what we're doing. There's people who are sending in paragraphs from Front Royal tonight saying thank you for giving us a voice. Nobody's talking about this. And the reason why nobody's talking about this is because this is happening all over the country.
Well, the show tonight with Steve was amazing. And the fact that you had so many people call in, so many people on the chat shows your relevance to Virginia politics. And the fact that you got pissed off shows your dedication to us. So thank you. Yeah. And again, I'm going to just say one more time to the people out there, if you're a Republican thinking that somehow this is going to fix itself, you're mistaken.
We are the fix.
You need to get involved.
We are the fix.
Get involved. Yeah.
Thanks, Chuck. Love you, buddy. Appreciate you.
Love you, man.
Yeah, man.
See you, man.
Thank you, Chucky.
Love Chuck. Watch this. Josh, I'm giving him a full 8 minutes. It's this good. Livy, you've been awesome. Thanks for letting me go off tonight.
Did you want yogurt or no? You mentioned it earlier. I'm just asking.
No. I'll just take my favorite peach in the whole world, you. So gay. Josh Hammer. First of all, I'm going to show you the Hodge twins. Does this sound like the Hodge? Does this sound like Christian conservatism? Does this sound? You let me know. Hodge twins endorsed our show. I listen to the Hodge twins every day. I can't even play their endorsement anymore. I'm so ashamed. Listen to this.
I don't hate Jews, but I do hate.
I don't hate Jews is a full sentence. But
big asshole.
The fact that we are the backbone of Israel and we support them with whatever endeavor they want to go into. Like this whole Iran war. Doesn't make any sense. They said there's an imminent threat there. There's nuclear weapons. If it wasn't for Israel, we would have a entire different relationship with the Muslims. Yeah, I got Muslim friends, and I think we have a lot of things in common with them. Like they have a lot of high regard for Jesus and the Virgin Mary. We have things in common with these people. It's like we have nothing in common.
Well, you raised this earlier, and I didn't get. There's a lot of rich, powerful Jews around the world, and if they can stir up all this stuff by Israel doing bad things, that their political class will get even more power out of it. This is very cynical. This is very sick.
But also, I want to add about the Christian Zionists in this country: Pete Hegseth, Ted Cruz, Marco Rubio, Lindsey Graham, who say if you don't bless Israel, you will be cursed.
These fucking people are insane.
Muslims have respect for baby Jesus and Virgin Mary? What? Dude, shut the fuck up, man. You have no idea what you're talking about. Are you serious? Did you actually just say that with a straight face?
Deborah says
I'm so confused.
Matt shifted the time continuum when he went to church. It's funny. That's actually really funny. You guys, I apologize for the language.
Yeah, me too. I haven't dropped an F-bomb in a while, but that deserved it.
There, I fixed it.
That really deserved it.
What? Wow. Dude, you guys are Marines. To sit here and say, you guys say that the Jews didn't exist till 1940 and Israel didn't exist until what, 48? Then explain to me why Arabs have been killing Arabs and Arabs have been killing Jews for 3,200 years. You say that the Jews created the conflict and the instability in the Middle East. Do you know how stupid that is? Do you know how ridiculous it is when you say that the Jews that are in Israel are European Jews and they don't actually have a bloodline to the Anakazi Jews don't have a bloodline to and claim to Israel, but you blame them for 3,200 years of violence? I don't know if you understand this, and maybe you don't because you guys are literally like just bricks. But when Arabs don't have Jews to kill, they kill Arabs. And for you to sit here and say that they have some sort of relegated some sort of appreciation to Jesus, and it's not that they recognize Allah, they recognize Abraham, they recognize Jesus. Yes, that's true. And just because you guys think that the Talmud, which is written by rabbis and interpretation, which have nothing to do with the word of God for Jesuits and Jews themselves, is you guys sit here and say, well, they believe that Jesus, who they never even mentioned Jesus, is relegated to living in fecal matter and burning in hell, which is your interpretation. But even if that's true, you have Muslims that behead Christians, murder Christians, have persecuted Christians. Have you even looked at the fucking Crusades? Do you even know what happened? Do you even know what happened between the Moors and the Saxons? Have you even seen what's been going on in Syria? Did you see what happened in North Africa? Did you see what happened in the Congo? Did you see what happened in Bosnia and Herzegovina and Serbia? How can you sit here and say that Muslims and Christians have something in common when they are diametrically opposed? One is based on love and the other is based on murdering the infidel. You are insane. You're insane. And you are incredibly stupid.
Yes.
So watch this. Josh Hammer crushes it at CPAC. I'm giving him the full 8.
Good afternoon, CPAC. I hope y'all are having a great time. It's great to be back here.
Yes.
We're going to have somebody on the show that is at CPAC right now.
Oh, we are. Yeah, that's right. Joe is at CPAC. He's going to be on our show.
We're just waiting to hear back from on which.
Would it be nice if we got invited to
CPAC?
CPAC? Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be nice if we got invited to CPAC?
I wouldn't go, but you can.
Why wouldn't you go?
I wouldn't speak. Are you serious?
You should totally go. You're hot.
I would go, but I wouldn't speak.
You're going.
And
you're going to talk. You're getting, listen, after that, what you did last night, and then you did well tonight, you're doing just fine on the interview front.
Yeah, that's sitting here. There's no way I could go up on a stage and speak to people. No, I can't do it.
Olivia?
Nope.
We'll see. Jason O'Neill's calling, 937. I will see. Hi, you're calling the donut from me. Okay, bye. He tried to call. Then he hung up.
Just wanted to leave a message?
Then he called. Then he let's call him back. Let's find out. But I really want to play the CPAC video.
Or not.
I'm going to give him 10 more seconds.
Yeah.
10 seconds to call back or I'm playing the CPAC video. Okay, Josh Hammer, host of the Josh Hammer Show. Nice to see so many people on Rumble. We actually had 50 plus.
We have a new listener that's talking in chat. Too.
Good. Somebody's like, this show is Jew and gay. I'm like, those are mutually exclusive. I didn't know that. Yes, the Jews, most anyway, that reside in Jerusalem are from Europe. I'm Jewish and Middle Eastern. Muhammad took Quran from the Holy Bible and made it what he wanted. Yes, but the Jews never left Israel. This is the misnomer. 9% of the Jews stayed. And just because you had immigration to Europe does not mean that they do not have the descent. They means they have generation of people who have European blood, because that's what people do when they move to Europe or move to another country, is that they sleep with other people and they mix race. That happens. But it is an absolute misnomer that they don't have claim to the land of Israel. That is completely not true. It's just not true. You know that. This is the problem. Tucker Carlson wants them to get a blood test. What happens if they fail it? Are we going to throw them into camps? Here is.
He would like that.
I don't know if I don't know if that's true. Maybe that's an exaggeration. But Tucker Carlson is obviously paid by a group of people who do not like Jews, because he was not saying this 2 years ago. Candace wasn't saying this 2 years ago. Joe wasn't saying this. Sean Ryan wasn't saying this 2 months ago. Here it is.
You probably noticed that things feel a bit off in the conservative movement at this time. I'm not talking about the White House, of course. President Trump continues to lead with conviction, vision, and purpose. He's reduced illegal border crossings to near zero. He's crushed the woke madrasas of the Ivy League. And now he is reshaping the geopolitical map by ending the Islamic Republic of Iran's 47-year forever war against the United States. At the cabinet level, Marco Rubio is the most dynamic and transformative Secretary of State in a generation. And Pete Hegseth has emerged as a clarion voice of American resolve, the consummate wartime consigliere. Things in the administration, in short, are going pretty well. It is only when we look outside the administration to the conservative influencer class, those who dwell in.
Thank you, Tommy. Thomas Austin, 7259, have to hit goal. You're the shiznit. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
Podcastistan, as some now call it, when we see things going perhaps slightly less well. Don't get me wrong, many of the biggest conservative stars are superb, and some of them are speaking at this conference. But some others are absolutely terrible, and a few of them are speaking at this conference, too. Matt Gaetz, there's your shout out. These black-billing doomsday...
See, that's balls. See, that's respect. I got to respect this guy just because that. Folks, we need a crap ton of likes. Holy crap. How did we have a show where we had 170 in general pop and we're at 82 likes? We got to keep hitting that like button. I understand if you can't donate, but like and share. Please, please, please like and share.
Are engaged in a conscientious brain rot op to make the right retarded. The slogan that catapulted Donald Trump to the presidency and continues to define his political career is "Make America Great Again." It's a pithy and inspiring call to action. In it are three distinct claims. First, America was once great. Second, America became less than great. And third, it will one day be made great again. The retard right denizens of Podcastistan reject the fundamental essence, however, of MAGA. Much like the neo-Marxist left, the
Thank you, Chucky.
retard right doesn't think America was ever great. And they certainly don't think that America is capable of being made great once again. They are therefore explicitly anti-MAGA. In fact, they are actually just anti-American. We know this because they openly say it. Tucker Carlson, who wrestled the demon and seems to have lost the fight with the demon, recently hosted on his show a Chinese Communist Party mouthpiece by the name of Jiang Shuiqin. On the podcast, Jiang proposed a new world order in which the United States joins China, Russia, and Iran as quote-unquote equal partners. If you think that sounds patently insane, that's because it is. If you think that sounds indistinguishable from the musings of Noam Chomsky, that's because it is. But that didn't stop Carlson from affirming Jiang's Beijing-approved dystopia as the wisest possible advice and the only path that preserves civilization. Of course, Carlson has also lauded Russia, Maduro's Venezuela, and even Sharia law. You'd be hard-pressed to find a single anti-American system or regime that Carlson has not, in fact, praised. By the same token, Megyn Kelly, whose insatiable appetite for clicks has overwhelmed whatever decent principles she purports to hold, had a curious guest for her first episode after the commencement of Operation Epic Fury against Iran.
People are shouting Nick Fuentes. People are down with Jews. You guys understand, Nick Fuentes and his groypers have infiltrated CPAC. They've infiltrated TPUSA, and they are going to continue to create dissension and hatred towards anyone who doesn't relish in their overarching beliefs that Israel is Satan. These guys are just as bad as leftists. They're horrible human beings. Yep. You don't have to hate Israel to be an American. You don't. And you don't have to love Israel to be an American. You just have to use some common fucking sense. Pardon my French.
That was Marjorie Taylor Greene. In December, just prior to resigning in disgrace after Trump kicked her out of MAGA,
We've got to get him on our show.
Green met with the radically anti-American Chinese Communist Party-funded group Code Pink. Instead of celebrating the world historical madman Ayatollah Ali Khamenei's death and the remarkable ass-kicking that Trump had just begun delivering to a regime that's attacked and killed Americans ever since 1979, Kelly joined Green in lamentation. This feels very much to me like it is clearly Israel's war, she said. Never mind that President Trump has been calling for the destruction of the mullahs for decades. Decades. In 1980, Trump called for the use of military force against Iran. In 1988, Trump said he'd, quote, go in and take Karg Island, there near the Strait of Hormuz. Short of tariffs, there is literally no issue. There is no single issue on which Donald Trump has been more consistent over the decades than the issue of Iran. But the cowards of the retard right who simply don't have the balls to take on President Trump directly insist that Trump was gold into the current action by the Israelis.
There's a lot of people agreeing with him too, by the way.
Or perhaps prominent Jewish Americans, or perhaps some combination thereof. This, simply put, is horseshit.
What's this guy's name?
Donald Trump is not a dupe, and he is now settling all the MAGA family business. So it's no wonder that Trump now calls Carlson, quote unquote, not MAGA. It's no wonder he has labeled Kelly, who has been spiraling off into extreme juvenile vulgarity. We've been talking about micro-penises of late. He called her a, quote, jealous and angry human being with little sway. And he's right on that. A new survey from JL Partners revealed that Republicans trust Donald Trump over Tucker Carlson and Megyn Kelly by a whopping 83% to 6% margin. This is not a particularly close call. It is not a coin flip. It is an overwhelming, crushing defeat for the retard right. Indeed, at this juncture,
folks, we're 5 away likes on social media when it comes to Facebook. Need some help. Need 5 likes. We can't do sub 100. That's incredibly bad. We've had a good night. It's been a long night, but it's a good night. We're going to finish up here in probably the next 5.
Of his second term, Trump maintains historically high approval ratings from within his own party for a very clear and obvious reason. He's doing a fantastic job, and he deserves our support. All of that then raises some rather obvious questions. Why are Carlson, Kelly, fellow travelers like the exorable Candace Owens, and yes, some of their allies inside the administration, why are all of them doing this? What is their goal? What is the end goal here? The answer is both simple and harrowing. The goal is to destroy the MAGA coalition and the current iteration of the American right.
Thank you.
These subversives have no interest in a strong America that kills arch terrorists who want us dead and confronts a Chinese Communist Party that wants us subjugated. They have no interest in a conservative movement that is downstream of the West's biblical inheritance. Instead, like Putin's Svengali Alexander Dugin, they want a coalition movement that makes America great by making Russia and China great. Like the Muslim Brotherhood, they want the Judeo-Christian biblical tradition made great again by making Islam or Sharia law great again. Like Hassan Piker and Howard Zinn, they want to make America great by tearing it down. If that doesn't sound anything remotely conservative to you, that's because it isn't. It's stupid. It's evil. It's flaming, stinking garbage. It is the direct advancement of our enemy's interests on the world stage. If someone wanted to destroy America from within, what else would he do other than what the brain rot op retard right does on a daily basis?
If you haven't watched the whole thing, go watch it. It comes.
What's the name of his show?
Josh Hammer. I don't know. Josh Hammer is his name.
Okay.
It comes down to this. It's not that Tucker Carlson wants Sharia law. It's not that Candace Owens wants Sharia law. It's not that Steve Bannon wants Sharia law. It's not that that Sean Ryan wants Sharia law. They have been repudiated from Donald Trump. All of them. They're no longer relevant. That's the problem. They are bitter and they're jealous and they're pissed off. And they want their power back. They want their platforms back. They want their money back. So they are going to go where the wind is blowing. And where the wind is blowing is anti-Jew. That's it. That is trendy. That is where it's moving towards. How in the we as a country, as a influencer and conservative movement, are somehow saying Iran is the innocent guy and Iran poses no threat to the United States? What the are you smoking? If there are no enemies to the United States, and that is the way the new focus has to be, is there are no enemies to the U.S., that everybody can live harmoniously together. Explain to me why Iran, out of the 67,000 terrorist events that have taken place over the last 47 years, why they have their hand in over 83% of them. How can anyone make this connection? How is it that Israel is to blame for everything that has happened in the Middle East if they've only existed since 1948? And if they've only been relevant since they've received a nuclear bomb that they stole from the United States? But you have 3,200 years of history of Muslims killing anyone who believes in anything different from them. I don't want you to hate Muslims. I want you to watch them closely. I want you to ensure that they do not get weapons of any mass destruction, whether it be biochemical or nuclear. Why? Because they will fucking use them. These people believe that if they murder and destroy and kill their enemy, they will be rewarded in heaven. That does not necessarily bring a lot of warm feelings of trust when it comes to them. And I don't trust communists either. Because second to Muslims, they have killed more people, communists, than anyone else on the planet. Well over 100 million people since World War I. I don't trust them either. And I don't trust cab drivers and lawyers. There are people who I don't trust on this planet. And for you to say, because I am going to choose the closest country that represents the United States values and Western civilization, which is indeed Israel, over anyone else, that's a falsehood, because we also invest the same amount of weaponry and invest in infrastructure in Saudi Arabia to get where they are. Nobody says we can do that. We put money into Qatar and build one of the largest bases there. We've put money in CENTCOM in Africa. Nobody says anything about that. We've invested more money in the Japanese and in Afghanistan and Ukraine than Israel combined times 10. Nobody says anything about that. The only reason is because the age-old adage that is biblical beyond everyone's years is to hate the Jews. This has gone on for millennia, and it is now in modern day form in these people's words. I told you two things that would happen on October 7th. Olivia, remember what I said?
You're going to see how fast.
No, we'll say the first one first. What's Israel going to do?
They're going to flatten Gaza.
No matter what, man, woman, and child, they're going to kill everybody. And then what was the second thing?
That we're now going to see just how many people hate Jews.
Everybody remembers. October 8th, I said it. You're going to see all the masks slip and find out how hated the Jews are in the world, because now they have permission to do so. Because the Jews are going to go ahead and prosecute this war to the way wars need to be fought, which is when somebody slaps you, you shoot them. That's what the Jews do. Because they have to, because they're surrounded. Every single person who's watched my show, I told you what was going to happen. And I told you conservatives were going to turn on them. I told you Democrats are going to turn on them. I told you influencers are going to turn on them. And they did. And all these people are like, Jew lover. I'm like, you're just proving my fucking point. You're proving my point. I'm not a Jew lover. I'm not a Jew hater. That's not the same thing. They're not mutually exclusive. I can question Israel's government and wonder why they do some of the things that they do. And I can also absolutely support their survival and the sovereignty of their nation, and that it is absolutely critical for Middle East stability for the Jews to be the one antithetical nuclear switch that stops every Muslim country from doing what every Muslim country has done for 3,200 years, which is kill Arabs. That's it. Last video of tonight.
Did you know, I saw this earlier.
Yeah, tell me.
That in Iran, freedom fighters are starting to rise up, and they're starting to kill IRGC members.
Yeah, do you know what they're also, the people are calling in when they see IRGC leaders and diplomats in Iran? These are civilians. They're calling in the coordinates to have them killed.
That's so awesome. It needs to happen.
If Iran wants to kill its own leadership, folks,
maybe we should listen to the people who live there.
I just don't
opposed
understand.
To someone who does.
I just can't stand stupidity. The Jews are not perfect. They are not perfect. And neither is the United States. What I'm saying is they are relative good. They are objectively good. The United States is objectively good. Surprisingly enough, you may not like to hear this, China to the rest of the world is objectively good. They're just bad to their people. Russia is not objectively good. China hasn't invaded the United States. China hasn't attacked its neighbors. Don't even give me shit about Tibet. But overall, China has gotten its ass kicked more than any other country in the Orient because Japan has knocked their dick in the dirt 8 times. But China overall, they're not objectively good, but they're not objectively evil. Maybe to their own people they are. I don't trust China. I don't like China. I don't want China in our backyard. But they don't want to take over the world. They don't believe in expansionism. They believe in economic dominance, and that's what they want. They've got enough people. They've got enough continents. They don't want to expand. They don't want territory. They want the South Pacific because it's in their backyard and the United States dominates it. That's why they want Taiwan, and they probably would have taken Australia in World War II. Japan would have, because it controls all the shipping lanes from Malaysia to Sumatra to the Indian Ocean. It gives them the entire South Pacific. China wants that. That's why they're building on East Africa. That's why they're building as close as they can and trying to take as much territory as they can. Naval territory. But they're not going into the Atlantic. They're not going into northern Russia. There's a reason why. They don't want the world. They want the South Pacific. Last video, and then we're getting out of here. We've already hit goal. Thank you for a great night. Olivia, you've been a great assist. You haven't had to do this in a while. I've been kind of going off. I really appreciate you tonight. You were awesome, and I love you, and I know you worked a long day. Last video, Proud Patriot. We'll see you guys on Monday after this.
Yeah, my wife and I have been here from yesterday in probably 6 different groups, from Christian to Irish Star to Germany, and a couple of other ones thrown in. And basically the lead-in question is always, and it is a lead-in question, do you approve of the new war that Trump's bringing on? And,
it's not a new war.
Our response is that this is not a new war.
No, it's
but
not.
Then the follow-on is that would you support troops on the ground? I mean, it's basically a set series of questions, but it seems to me that, they are trying to accentuate a split. They think there's a bit of a
But hang
split.
on, I think it's a legitimate question. So I'm going to ask you, I wouldn't call it a new war, but what do you, and President Trump now refers to it as a military operation. What is your opinion right now of the military operation that we're in the 3rd week of?
Well, my response to those questions, and that was one of the questions most of them had, was that basically several presidents have wanted to do, maybe they left office, so it was safe to say what they said, but this is the first one that did what the other ones were talking about. As they say, this is a continuation of a long-term problem that needed to stop, and they're trying to form a division of people that are here with these leading type questions.
The reality is there is going to be division because not everybody's totally on board. Let me ask you, do you think it was in your mind, not spun by anybody, do you think there was as you weighed and measured things, there was an imminent threat that we would go in, that we would 3 weeks later be talking about putting combat troops in?
Well, I think the answer is yes, and that
folks.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just going to say this once. You don't want regime change. You don't want to let them have a nuke. You don't want to put troops on the ground. You don't want to guide them through the Suez. You don't want to go ahead and re-hit Fordow, Natanz, and Isfahan, or put in special forces. But you want to get the uranium that's in Iran so they don't get a nuke. How in the hell do you propose we do any of those things when you won't allow us to do any of the things that are necessary to do those things? We have one shot at this. This is mom's spaghetti. This is Rabbit spitting lyrics in Detroit, dude. You got one shot. Don't miss your chance to blow. You had Midnight Hammer. It removed most of their integrated air defense system, most of their coastal batteries, and Iran was in a massive building phase, and they were growing exponentially. They were going to get to a posture of 1980, 1990, 2000, where Iran would not, because of upgrading from China and other countries with their defense systems, that they were going to reach a state where the United States could not effectively go in there based upon our 5th generation aircraft with their 5th generation missile systems, which were going to be effective against us. So we hit their nuclear facilities when we had a chance, and we decided to go back in and finish them. Why? Well, because just because you do that, it doesn't mean they didn't have other enrichment facilities. Those are the ones that were the most productive. Those are the ones that were going to weaponize the uranium. We hit them to the best of our capability, but if you think they're not going to dig them out, if you think they're not going to move the uranium, you're crazy. This is our chance to disarm Iran in a state of putting them in a state of flux where we can have air superiority, naval superiority, and we can remove any threat indefinitely for pennies on the dollar. That is what we're doing. But you've got to figure out Karg. You've got to figure out their flow of monies. You've got to figure out Pickaxe Mountain. You've got to hit Isfahan, Fordow, and Natanz again to ensure that they no longer have any uranium that's enriched. Because right now they have enough uranium to nuclearize 11 weapons. And it only takes one. It only takes one to detonate and show their commitment of destruction, and then create one more to literally blackmail the Middle East into oblivion. Either we do this now, or we got to come back again and again and again and again, and then that's a forever war. That is a stasis of stagnation, just like Afghanistan, just like Vietnam. We must have the will to go in there and kill and destroy and HK every single threat that they possess. Because if we don't, the Iran that we're going to see that comes back is going to be 10 times more aggressive. We're going to have 10 times more of the terrorist attacks. We're going to have a re-resolve of every single terrorist proxy that they have propped up. They will regrow, and they will hold the Middle East hostage for 1,000 years. That's it. All right. Let's say goodnight.
Okay. Sorry, Michelle Einberger, totally off topic. She said, if we don't, they will hook up with Russia, which is bad. Or did Matt already say that? I stepped into the kitchen, and being with you for so long, the first thing that crossed into my mind was where a good woman should be.
Yeah, it's where you belong.
Exactly what you would say.
It's where you belong. Don't ever apologize for going home.
Oh my God.
It
was
being in the
late.
kitchen.
It's been a long week, and I'm tired.
Can I say one more thing?
It was the first thing that came to my mind when I saw that comment.
I got to say one more thing.
Sure.
People are like, Olivia looks beautiful. You guys, this is the way she looks every single day. I have finally gotten the lighting right and the cameras right to capture her properly. This is just the way Olivia always looks. She's timeless. She's gorgeous. She's when I look at her, I have no idea why she's with me. So this is nothing new. This is the way she's always looked. I've just finally captured her properly. I finally figured out how to light her properly. That's it. And the cameras are showing you who she is. The thing is, a lot of people fear high quality cameras because they think, no, they show you who you really are. And you might be wondering why I'm so damn good looking. Well, none of you have ever questioned that. But Olivia looks like this because this is who Olivia is. And yes, I'm tanner than Olivia. I've got a lot of Greek in me.
My Mexican's not showing. As I've gotten older, my skin has gotten lighter.
Wait till I get in the sun. When I get in the sun, I'll look Mexican. It's ridiculous.
You might have to actually utilize the sun chairs we bought last summer.
Well, you know, she must really love you. She's in the kitchen. I know she loves me. That's when she loves me most. Folks, Tuesday night, Jessica Lynch. Be back Monday. We're going to have a good show. We're going to enjoy the weekend. We are not doing anything. I don't care. If World War III breaks out, we're not coming on.
We might do something tomorrow. I was told by our daughter we have to go tomorrow, so we'll see.
To the thing?
Yeah.
I just want to play Crimson Desert. Good night, everybody. God bless. Thanks for a great night. Thanks for the donations. It was a fun night. I hope Scott is okay with us and you're going to go, my God, those guys are crazy. We had a good time tonight. We hope you had fun too. God bless you.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy.
Yes, Olivia is my Elise McKenna. That is absolutely correct. She is my Elise McKenna. That is well said, Deborah. She goes, she is Matt's Elise. Yes. Like I hold pennies often and I hold them out and I look at it and she goes, Richard!
No, on our photo shoot with Barry, he made me do without even trying. You had the picture.
Yeah, I had her look at me and recreate the picture of Elise McKenna, and she's doing this eye thing, and I was just like, holy schniznit. Good night.
There you go.
Love you guys.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.